我的稍微是快一点，但是没关系。
我是不是现在应该翻译啦？还是？Okay. Good day, all friends in the world. We are just reviewing the past programs right now. We will start in a minute. See, they are singing songs. And this is a doctor we visited last time. And Dr. Cho from Taichung Tzu Hospital is doing a report last time. Talking Dharma, spreading the Dharma. Blessings are infinite. And this is it. Thanks to everyone. Today is Wednesday. We're grateful that people are getting together online right now. Please rise. We invite you to put your palms together and make 3 bows to Buddha and Master Zheng Yan. Second bow. Third bow. Let's recite together. Pass on the Dharma lineage with sincere piety. Unwaveringly promote the Tzu spirit. Cherish Tzu affinities, inherent meanings of Jingsi Dharma lineage. Let's raise our right hand and bow together. Go, 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 forward, forward, forward. Do, do, do. Study and listen to the Dharma. Study and listen to the Dharma. We are more diligent and closer to Master's heart. Are you close to Master's heart? Please sit down. Online study group opens our heart. Tzu family members gather together, read Master's footprints diligently, united by Tzu affinities. These are the encouragement from Master. Pass on the Dharma lineage and recruit talents. Let us study online together. Now you can invite all your friends and family to join us online right now. Yeah. Let's say hi to all the friends close to you. Pass on the Dharma lineage and recruit talents. Let's study online together. Good day, everyone. And please send us notes, comments online. And if you have any feedback on any speakers, please send us your input. We really appreciate your comments. And this slide says, an enlightened and compassionate group pass on the Dharma lineage. This is the name of our group. An enlightened and compassionate group pass on the Dharma lineage. And Master said, you are the Dharma messengers. Pass on the Dharma mindfully and pass on the great Dharma. This is Master's ideal talents. Most modest and not arrogant, pure with self-respect, cultivation, and virtue. Always hold selfless love and treat everyone equally. Be open-minded and control temper. Work hard and harmoniously with others. Show good etiquette in speeches and actions. Be enlightened, virtuous, with a purified heart. Focus on general principles and not trifles. With the above characteristics, they will be qualified followers of Master. Master will therefore feel at ease. Wish everyone become an ideal talent in Master's eyes. So put your palms on chest and say, Master, be relieved. I am your ideal talents. Let's say it together. Master, be relieved. I am your ideal disciples. And let's look at Master's response. You are great. Thumbs up. So please thank your neighbors. And today we're going to review Master's footprints from February 1st to February 8th. Let's read this together. Mutually encouraged to keep talking about Tzu Chi spirit and value, unwaveringly listen to the Dharma teachings. Believe we are all the intrinsic nature potential. We all have the intrinsic nature, and diligently maintain our initial aspirations. So Master says, Tzu Chi started from Taiwan, but sometimes misunderstood by people, not because we didn't do enough, but because we didn't say enough about Tzu Chi. So we are going to share with our guideline book club. Every person has only 3 minutes, but 3 minutes, even short, you can cover a lot in conveying the message. We want to thank Lijuan in Beijing to share. And people always thought, oh, we've done it and we should let go of it. But we really need to take the opportunities to share the good things we do and to say good words. This way, the good Dharma can be passed down forever and ever. And Master told us, there's beauty can only comes from hard work. Glory does not come from waiting. So now we have this English interpretation team. We have 5 teams to do the English interpretation. Today we have the A team from the US. Yeah, these are the brothers and sisters in this team to do the English interpretation today. Let's applaud for them. We appreciate their English interpretation. Also, on October 17th, we're going to report to Master about what our team is doing. So everyone is invited to join us online. It's Taiwan time, 9:50 a.m. on Saturday, October 17th. The power of the team comes from everyone. So let's see what kind of feedback we got from all over the world. Because the feedbacks are very important. We received 260 messages last week, 45 transfers. Malaysia families had the most feedbacks from last week. Let's give them a hand. In the past, family members in China was the winner, and Malaysia has been winning the past 2 weeks. So here you can see Hebei Shijiazhuang, Brother Li Ping said, the family members in China, they went online and very happy to enjoy the online book study. And he invites many people to join this study group. And Sister Shijing said, this study group is a wonderful opportunity to learn. And we also have Japanese Sister Yan Yehui feedback. And Lin missed the Jingsi Abode visit and wish everyone is safe and happy so we can visit pretty soon. And these are feedback about the Burma group. And many people appreciate Brother Su Jingguo's sharing last week. In 2021, 2 groups of Burmese brothers and sisters will join us to share. And one feedback, really appreciate Brother Su's comment that a good faith is not as good as good work. And he talked about the rice bamboo bank. Every family saved 1 handful of rice and saved the rice to benefit other poor family members. Here are the feedbacks about Dr. Luo from the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital. And he gave us talk about how to sleep better and lots of positive feedbacks about his sharing. So we need to go to bed regularly, and we need to get up before 8 a.m. to absorb the sunshine. And good breakfast and healthy breakfast is very important. And more feedback about the director of the movie Ru Chang. And I've also sent all the comments to the line groups, and you can read the details there. And look at the feedback about director Chen Zhian. This Shenyang brother said he has watched the movie 3 times, and every time was very touched. Yeah, life is impermanent, so we need to make the best use of every minute. We appreciate the sharing of the director. And these are the feedback about the team from Taiwan. And we appreciate the sister sharing how to make the vegetarian Chinese tamale. And these are messages from Singapore and Malaysia. From Penang, thanked us, and these are comments from Canadian family members. And these are comments from US, Japanese, and Taiwan family members. Oh, see, another new friend, Kuzumi Osaka Akasaki. Thank you for your feedback. And these are family members from China. They always gave us lots of positive feedback. We really appreciate them. And Sister Shijing transferred their comments in real time to our online program. And these are members from other parts of the world, from Thailand, from Burma. Wow, in Burma, they have translator to translate the Chinese program into Burmese by Teacher Sue. Let's give her a hand. Give him, Teacher Sue. So they sent us a book, The Fragrance of Rice. And here are the feedback in English. If you are on the English channel, please leave us feedback. These are feedback from English channel participants last week. So he appreciates Teacher Sue's wonderful idea.
Kaohsiung online book study has helped to increase my awareness of the
Yeah, Sister Effie from Malaysia, I really appreciate the extensive and expensive contribution of all Tzu Chi medical doctors from Dr. Ross sharing last week. So please give us your feedback. We appreciate. Here we also got feedback from the director Chen. Director Chen was very impressed with our operation to reach audience all over the world. And that's an evidence that as long as you're mindful, you can be experts. And here's Sister Fang Wen Huang from Texas, and appreciating Director Chen gave us a wonderful class about architecture. Yeah, Sister Huang mentioned the different buildings he visited on his trip. We also want to thank Dr. Cho shared with Master yesterday morning about our online study group. And he wants more people to come to watch our program. Here are more feedback from the speakers last week. This is Brother Gao. He really noticed our improvement year after year. And he was impressed. The English interpretation team read his notes several times in order to do a good job to translate. I want to thank Yijun brother from Xi'an and Yan Xu. They always wrote one page of feedback to thank the speakers for each week. Wow, in order to do this, he even watched the program recording for 3 hours again before he wrote this. Today, we have a guided reading by Sister Zhang Guizhi. And this is her first time, so let's give her a hand. Master, Dharma masters, and all people from the world. I'm Zhang Guizhi. At the meeting yesterday with Master, Master says, we are eating 10,000 people's meals. We need to save them for the future. We need to encourage people to be vegetarians. Today, I'm going to share bodhisattvas emerge from the ground. Yeah, if we don't have these bodhisattvas, how could we hold all sentient beings? After the earthquake on September 21st, 1999, Master talked to all disaster relief volunteers. All Tzu Chi volunteers from the north, center, south, and east of Taiwan rushed to the quake area automatically. Isn't this truly bodhisattvas as emerged from the ground? Sierra Master says, you devoted these days of vacation time for the disaster relief. Please watch your position, take care of your responsibility, because I'm going out for the disaster relief, especially the main operator. Nobody can leave that station because that's our connection to the outside. 1999, September 23rd, the third day after the big earthquake. Master Zheng Yan left Hualien to go to Taichung. This trip is not only comfort the disaster survivors, but also she gave this brother a package of things. And this brother says, "Oh, I thought as a Tzu Chi member we're to help others. At that moment, I became a survivor, and the master gave me a package of cash. When I received that, I was so touched because that day, master knew that I came from Puli to Taichung. All the homes I had were ruined, and I have 3 kids going to school. What are we going to do?" And all the houses were built on mortgage loans. So now the houses are gone, but the mortgage loans still need to be paid. And we face very difficult hardship. At that time, we had a lot of bodhisattvas emerged from the ground. This reminds me 7 years ago. Teacher Meiying, begged everyone, and now we have this study group. And Master says, as long as you are mindful, your experiences will be expertise. In September, Tzu Chi had signed a memorandum with NCDR, National Disaster Relief Center. So international youth disaster are going to cooperate with us for disaster relief. At that time, these are people from all over the world to participate. From 21 countries, about 85 people. And some people came from 25 colleges in Taiwan. 60% are master or doctoral students. They all majored in natural disaster relief. We also have 30 workers from 9 different counties and cities in Taiwan. This camp's major characteristics is to have international cooperation. It was delivered in both Chinese and English with online real-time show. We also invited experts from North Europe and other countries to share with the participants the techniques. And this is a combination of wisdom and compassion and technology. So Taiwan could share the experience of technological disaster relief and prevention. And in the end, we had a closing ceremony. We also used all kind of technology. So 14 countries had their ambassadors, leaders to represent their country to join the closing ceremony. We also visited the Central Emergency Reaction Center. They learned about what the Taiwan people did for the Morocco typhoon. And this is the opening ceremony in Miaoli International Camp. Say they are cheering for this event. We divide the participants into 7 teams: Commander Center, Documentation and Recording, Logistic and Transportation, etc. The last one is the sanity of water supply. This way they learn if there's any flood or other natural disasters, they know what to do. We use wise technology to direct the disaster relief. And you can see these pictures from the top. And here, to help with the houses, they learned how to do it indoors and outdoors. Here is a view of our So here you can see the compartments, and within each compartment, we can put down 2 or 3 blessing and wisdom bed. That's a product of our Great Love technology, which won the International Design Award before. I was most touched by the participants in my team. They are from South America. This is to show how we use the solar energy to create energy. The solar panel needs to follow the sun, and the sun shines at different time in northern hemisphere versus the southern hemisphere. Where we should put every light post is important. So they learn the technique about that. Here's a film about what we did that time. This is the first time for the participants to attend any conference like this. And they quickly get into the situation and learn what they can do to help with disaster relief when they go back home. Look at people building this combined homes together. And Master says, going among people and interacting with people of different backgrounds and habits is also a type of cultivation. You need to learn how to understand English from people all over the world. For international disaster relief, you need to communicate, and communicate again with relief personnel from all over the world. In the end, I want to share what Master told us. When we go among people to work with people of different backgrounds and habits, is also a type of cultivation. Cultivation is to enter enlightenment, not to be bounded by many troubles and afflictions. Thank you, everyone. Let's give her an encouragement of love. We need to give her the encouragement of love because this is the first time to broadcast online worldwide. I'm very touched. Guizhi actually came back to Taiwan from abroad. Because she speaks foreign languages, she can participate various international events. I'm very happy that she takes her first step. Now we are going to have the call out for the immediate blessings. And this gentleman comes from Malaysia. He is a big boss. Yeah, this is Brother Chen. He was the coordinator of that event. Usually, he's very stern, and his employees were afraid of him. He's very fierce, and he may scold people. And his ears are even red. When he's angry, he would shout. But now, what happened? And because of Tzu Chi's Dharma interpretation, he changed, and he voluntarily apologized to his employees, and he repented. Yeah, he repented. He thought about all the employees he treated badly, and when he called the employee said, "Oh, you are the bull. I remember, but I forgive you," because his attitude is completely changed. So now we are going to call out immediately to share the blessings. This is his business, 15 years anniversary of his business. He encouraged 3 generations of family to join, and he wanted to spread the doing good things and having filial piety to elders, to the whole world. Take good care of your family, and then you will do good deeds and spread it to others. And he brought Tzu Chi culture into his company, encouraged everyone to do good deeds and to be good children and grandchildren. So he will join us again in 2021. Last time we talked about Burma, and this is one bowl of mung bean soup. It's got sweetness and blessing. Tzu Chi gave the Burmese farmers these mung beans. And Brother Chen was also in Malaysia. They are tasting the mung bean soup from Burmese volunteers. Since he has so many things to talk about, and what he's going to talk about was also shown in the Life Wisdom in 2011, December 17th. And his family members were touched by the Da'ai, Great Love drama. This is his wife. The Great Love drama saved his family and changed the attitude of his mom and his wife. This is a different brother in Indonesia. He used to have bad temper, but now Brother Afu, Indonesia's wife, encouraged him to join Tzu Chi, and they have been vegetarians. They also are inspired to open a vegetarian restaurant.
到底大爱电视台对于顺服他们家
Okay, here is about Brother Chen in Malaysia, his mother and his wife. As a son and a husband, it's very difficult. And you can see the English subtitle. When they live together, they have a lot of friction. One day, my mom collected her clothing and asked my brother in Penang to take her away. After my wife returned home, I fought with her to kick mom out. I wanted to divorce her. So his wife went to Penang to apologize to her mother-in-law. She knelt down to ask for her forgiveness and asked her to come back. Both her mother-in-law and herself liked to watch the Dai drama. So they talked about this movie about the in-laws. The night before, they watched together and they cried together. When I saw them both crying, I thought that was the end of the world. I thought they were fighting. So this couple in-laws, they improve their relationship and the family becomes a happy family. What a nice, happy family now. It was difficult to find this old life wisdom from November 2011. Let's listen. Brother Chen talk about us personally, about more great love. I love to be with you because you have positive energy. Brother Shunfu and Sister Lijuan, thank you for joining us. Master, Dharma masters, and friends all over the world, good day. I am Shunfu. Good day, everyone. I am Lijuan, and my Dharma name is Sicheng. Even from childhood, we thought we are Buddhists because Buddhism was very popular in Malaysia. However, we didn't understand what Buddhism was. Yeah, one day when we traveled to Rome in Europe, we saw a church. We are both Buddhists. How come we visited churches the most on our trip? Oh, from that point on, we did not dare to declare that we are Buddhists anymore. And finally, thanks to Master Zheng Yan, Master Zheng Yan helped us to really appreciate the beauty of Buddhism and the beauty of Buddhists. Now I'm very proud to announce that I am a Buddhist. We met Tzu Ji in a very special incident. Oh. So it was an event when people asking for blood donation. And when I show people the bag of blood I donated, the person fainted. During that event, I saw this book from Tzu Ji, The Most Beautiful Person in Taiwan. That's Dharma Master Zheng Yan and the Tzu Ji volunteers. I thought this book has all those famous and beautiful movie stars. And how come this book has a Buddhist nun, a Dharma master? My wife was fainted when she saw the blood I donated, and I finished that book in that hour when she was fainted. Just reading the first few pages, I was very convinced by the beauty of Buddhism and Buddhists and Tzu Chi volunteers and Master Zheng Yan. When my wife woke up, I told her, hey, let's join Tzu Chi and let's follow Dharma Master Zheng Yan. My wife is very wise. She fainted at the right place and gave me the chance to read this book. I have two women that I love. I commit a bad mistake of many men, loving two women at the same time. One is my wife, the other is my mother. Not the third person in my family. However, the relationship between my mother and my wife was very rough. When you have two women under the same roof, in the same kitchen, it's tough. Yeah, many times one person wants A, the other person wants B, so I just left home. But I never thought about what they really needed. One day when I was working abroad, my wife called me. Your mom walked away from home. That's the first time she called her your mother, not just mother as she usually says. So I thought I wanted to help my mom to revenge. And I said, there's only one mom, but I could have many wives. So they fought. And my mom left our home. After my wife joined Tzu Chi, she said, I need to add points for Dharma Master Zheng Yan and the Tzu Chi. So my wife apologized to my mom. And my mom forgave her and went back home with us. We were very careful. We were worrying about breaking my mom's glass heart. One day, when I came back, they were both crying very hard. I thought that's the end of the world. And actually, it was not. It's because they were both touched by the great love drama at Da'ai TV station. So doing Tzu Chi is really a way to invite blessings to your family. So thanks to Brother Shunfu and Sister Lijuan. And Brother Chen knows that he needs to finish in time. Let's all see this wonderful couple. They are doing a lot of things, carrying a lot of responsibilities in Malaysia, Shillong. I listened to Brother Chen sharing before. He was able to influence lots of people in a very short time. And he said, he said that, I listened to your book club since I was young. They both carry a lot of responsibilities in Malaysia. Once there was a big event involving 20,000 volunteers, and they were able to motivate their family, friends, and the employees to participate.
所以呢，也落实社区，然后也担任实业家这一个部分哦。上这几天对实业家是非常的赞叹的哦，对马来西亚实业家。
On the page 408 of the book, Master even mentioned how he started and expanded the business in Malaysia. Master Zheng Yan always is happy whenever she talks about volunteers in Malaysia. Now we want to wave to all volunteers and family members in Malaysia. We appreciate all volunteers and family members in Malaysia's hard work. Okay, let's applaud to Brother Chen and his wife, Sister Lijuan. Okay.
So I invite everyone to come make comments on Facebook and the other platforms. Oh, looks like I'm having trouble with my phone. Okay, that's okay. So a couple of folks online are telling us where they're coming from or where they're listening in from. So for example, we have people from Northern California, somebody from Canada, somebody from Malaysia, and of course folks from Taiwan as well. And much of our audience has made a lot of positive comments for us. Folks from Los Angeles, from Malaysia, from Nanjing in China. And let's wave to them. More folks from different places in Taiwan and in China. And then more folks from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. And then Chongqing in China. And Changchun as well, and Henan, all in China. And then volunteers from New York and Taipei. Then more from Malaysia.
Good morning, everyone. 等于是问候大家好哈。然后 looking forward to another inspiring sessions of Kaohsiung book study and sharing. 他非常期待今天我们各个单元的一个激励分享哈。我们的玉美Effie 说 Good day, everyone. This is another interesting day. 对。跟着我们就会永远非常有趣。
So sharing a few of these comments with you all.
The words are also inspiring, very positive as always from the Kaohsiung online book study. 就是从线上读书会这边常常得到的，就是非常多激励的一个正向的正能量哈。那实经北家的实经就有灾难就有菩萨涌出来去救人哈。Victor 就说。
So we invite everyone to also come online and share your comments with us real time. Let's thank our speakers one more time. So of course, with each of our guests and speakers that join us, they always have a little fan club of their own. Taking a look on the screen right now, there is this material we have put together for the next speaker. And the topic of sharing today will be to not forget that original heart and that original aspiration with which you set out on your path. So let's take a look at this video. So she's saying, thank you to Master for giving us the energy, the ability to help those who have been affected by disaster here. So in this 54th year of Siji, this next speaker, Sister Meizhu, is so representative of the Siji spirit. This morning I was actually having a conversation with her, and she was saying to me, oh man, you've given me so much love. And I said, of course I have to. So Sister Meizhu has been such a role model to us and has brought so many people into Tzu Chi. So we've prepared a lot of material for Sister Meizhu here. And she really has so much to share. Today we'll focus on just certain areas. And you'll hear about, amongst other things, you'll hear about a lot of her disaster relief experiences and how she has brought in so many people into Tzu Chi, how she has shared this Tzu Chi spirit with so many people. In the early days of Tzu Chi, things were very different. Right now we have this really good venue, right, for all of us to join here together. But back in the day, we would find different venues like our own homes, right? You can see that in that very small space, we actually fit more than 100 people there, because in those days we didn't have the resources we had now. So it was a much tougher time. But because it was so tough at the time, that actually brought us together even more. And it also taught us a lot in planning, in how to coordinate our different venues. So we learned a lot as well. So for example, here on screen, the video that's playing is showing when a lot of volunteers came together to create masks amidst the pandemic. And the sister shares here that there's actually already a lot of volunteers that come to this Tzu Chi site as longtime volunteers, but this time for the mask making effort, we've actually invited many more volunteers as well. In any case, these were just a few examples. And another here on screen was actually it was seen in the Philippines, where Sister Meizhu had also gone to conduct disaster relief. And let's see a scene here. So with this kid, 5 years ago, this kid on screen, he was only 8 years old. And he, with a number of his siblings, had already starved for a couple of days. And Sister Meizhu, as well as other Tzu Chi volunteers, had come to help them and provided them with warm food and gave them the opportunity to do cash for work. And so that really was important to them at the time. And 5 years later, this boy still remembered Sister Meizhu, although he was actually worried that maybe Sister Meizhu had forgotten him. And so he's sharing here with Sister Meizhu, and there's of course volunteers translating there. And they're saying to each other that, yes, we will never forget each other for the rest of our lives. So just from that single bowl of rice, that little boy remembered Sister Meizhu through all the years. And it's that kind of love that really brought together everyone who was affected by disaster or affected in that city.
有没有觉得很感动？对呀。
So now let's talk about this, right? Like, does everybody have the opportunity to go do disaster relief? Not always. It really depends on our opportunities and affinities many times. Now let's take a look. After Sister Meizhu went to the Philippines and returned, let's take a look at this video where she is sharing her experiences with these little kids. And as I'm sharing about this, I feel kind of bad because in the past, if I was asked to share my experiences, I personally always wanted to share with adults instead of kids. And yet Sister Meizhu was very able to share with the kids and very willing to share with the kids.
那你看看哦，他就把这个部分呢，去告诉大家说，现在呢，菲律宾呢发生这样的事情，这样让更多人能够去知福惜福呢，更加是造福哈。所以在这个部分，可是啊，在这个当下里面呢，我们要讲到的，并不是一开始的时候他就要这样，他说他没有报名哦，他没有报名，为什么？ 这个部分呢就有原因，我也是因为看了这一个人间经藏的时候呢，才去。
So here Sister Meizhu was sharing that back in the day, Master had said, in order to participate in disaster relief, not only do you need to have, or do you need to be in a healthy state, you also need to carry yourself in an elegant way, in a dignified way. So in 1991, when there was an opportunity to go and conduct disaster relief, I felt that, I was pretty healthy at the time, but I didn't feel that I carried myself quite up to Master's standards at the time. So I didn't register for disaster relief that time. But in any case, we'll send out these videos and reserve some time for our speaker. Now, right now we're amidst a pandemic, and so it's been very difficult to go out and conduct disaster relief. And so the last time that Sister Meizhu went out to do disaster relief was in Laos, where they had a massive water-related disaster. And actually, over the years, in some of the materials about Sister Meizhu too, you'll be able to see that she has participated in so many different relief events for various disasters that have happened around the world since, I want to say, around 1990 or so until now. So in Laos, in this latest time where she did disaster relief, at first folks were concerned of finding the right place to conduct the disaster relief. But then in the end, we had really good affinities and were able to find, actually, I believe it was a 300-year-old temple that's very important to the community to be able to do the distribution. And now Sister Meizhu was sharing that, at the time we were really sincerely praying that we could find the right place to conduct this distribution. And then very fortunately, we were able to find this temple. So let us welcome our speaker, Sister Meizhu, to the stage.
好，我们也是一出门就遇到菩萨，热烈掌声欢迎！我喜欢和你在一起，因为你有正能量。哇，
Yeah, so earlier we talked about these two conditions for conducting disaster relief, right? Being in a healthy state, and also carrying ourselves in a dignified manner. So I've learned a lot today as well. And maybe for me, I feel like I don't meet either of those conditions. But let's have Sister Meizhu share her experiences in Laos with us.
所以直接
To everyone who is listening in today, everyone here, and everyone around the world, good morning. Man, Sister Meiyun, I feel like she is like my best representative. She seems to know me better than I know myself, and she's prepared so much information about me. So I'm so touched. And earlier we showed a scene in the Philippines with Typhoon Haiyan. And 5 years after the disaster, we went back to visit the folks that we had helped at the time. And then they had brought that child who we had met 5 years ago. And when we met together, we both were crying. And it was through the translation of our volunteers that I learned his story and how he had remembered me. The kid was sharing that actually his mother was a single mother, and then he had a few siblings, and they were all starving. And having seen their situation, I also saw that the mother was, seemed in maybe not the best health condition as well, and of course was lacking in resources. And so we invited the mother to come participate in the Cash for Work program. And then at the time, we provided some food for the kids as well. And then 5 years afterwards, when we went back, the kid shared the story with us and said that I had starved for 3 days, and you guys had helped us during that time. And I was so worried that maybe you had forgotten us. And then I told him, no, I will never forget. And I actually remembered in detail the scene from when I had met them back in the day. Now, that time before I returned from the Philippines, I did something that settled my mind as well before returning. And so, what I had done, I applied for them to move into what we call a great love home, because at the time they were still living in a home where the conditions were not very ideal. So, having been able to do that, I felt much more comforted and settled being able to leave the Philippines and return. I'm so grateful to Tzu for giving me the opportunity to go to so many different countries and help so many people who have needed help as they're affected by disasters. Now, in 2018, I had an opportunity to go to Laos. Now, in Laos, Laos is the only country in Southeast Asia that doesn't have a port or is not connected to the ocean. And so because of that, that's actually affected the country in many ways, in resources, in being able to pretty much send things out of the country and back into the country. And it's a really pretty country though, with, let's say, a lot of forests, a lot of waterfalls, etc. Now they do have a lot of water resources, And because they have a lot of these water resources, they actually, the strategy for the country and the government was to create a lot of dams to create energy with these dams, so that they could sell that energy to the neighboring countries as a way to sustain their economy. But creating dams is actually particularly damaging to the environment. And as they built more and more of these dams over time, um, one or some of those dams actually completely collapsed. And when that happened, that had pretty much flooded out and destroyed some 13 or so villages and affected many, many people and left them without homes.
那那个路啊，沿途哦非常泥泞啦哦。那我觉得说，在辽国赈灾总共有2年的时间，2018跟2019，所以啦哈，就怎么
Now,
样，
one of the
贵人很
volunteers
多。
there,
那其中有一个当地的陈正辉师兄哦，他开着他家的这个4轮传动的车哦，那路非常泥泞哦。
okay, so there were so many volunteers that she had met that time. And one of them, she's sharing the story of his particular efforts in, I believe, helping with transportation during the disaster relief efforts. And during this, I believe a few incidents had come up. A few. Okay. So after seeing a few of these accidents or near accidents with this volunteer who was helping to transport us, I actually spoke to the volunteer and said, hey, we'll probably have to be a little bit more careful because, this is the first batch of volunteers that's coming right now. But if we get into an accident, then we may not have other volunteers that are able to come anymore. Now, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't that his driving ability. It's actually because the roads were particularly slippery and from just all of the water, and traffic conditions were not good. But I did share the message with him. And so I believe it was the same person who said to us that, you guys are not normal humans, right? This is such a difficult circumstance that we're in. You don't know us personally. You don't speak our language. It's such harsh conditions here, and yet you're coming here to help us. So originally when we went, we were actually going to provide instant rice. But then we realized that, that's actually not what they're lacking the most. We saw that a lot of them were staying in tents. And there were, it was a place where I suppose the ground was laid with bricks. So it was just a very uncomfortable situation for people living there. And so instead, we changed our strategy to provide these portable beds that Siji makes, these beds that we call the beds of blessings and wisdom. And so seeing this, folks were also very touched to see just the kind of help that we were bringing and how it particularly met the needs of the folks there. And so these are two of the volunteers I was talking about. The one in the blue is a successful businessman. And he used his company's car and drivers to accompany us. Now, Laos is actually a Buddhist country.
们
And I
看
was
在
talking about
哦。
earlier how it's
那
such a
辽国
beautiful
呢也
country,
是
and
一个佛教
their
国
temples are
家，
also
然
very,
后是
very
小圣
well
国家。
built and
我
very
刚才有说
beautiful.
过哦，他们那里真的是蓝天白云，非常非常漂亮，而且寺庙也真的是盖得很棒哈。好，再下一张，压不下来。
And so when the disaster had happened, when the dam had broke, the water
这个
had
就是我们
risen
看在，
so
因为
much,
他们那个水啊，哈，
like to
高
2
达
stories
2楼的
high.
高， 所以呢又淹
All
得
of
久，
their
所以他们的稻
all of
田
their
哦，几
crops
乎都被
and
淹没住了哈。还
land
有
were
树，
mostly
树那
flooded
么
out,
高，因为淹久了哈，所以呢，
and even a lot
树
of
也
the
死了很多。那这个是我特别拍
structures
的
like
哈，
these
所以
temples were
你看
also
哦，
affected.
这个有时候大自然的灾害，连这个菩萨都变成泥菩萨了哈。但是慈济人的泥菩萨却不一样哈。刚才有提到，若不是大人大智大勇，谁敢拥抱苍生？就像在这个苏迪勒的时候，哇，都是50、60岁。
So we
像
see
大家
with
也有
some of
去哦，整
these
身都是泥土，不知道
disaster
是雨水、
victims.
汗水都有了哈。所以，那我们在这个
We
就
could see
是
that so
当
many
地
of
的
them
灾民
felt
哈，他们哦，
helpless
真的就是很乐天知命
because
哈，
their
都不会跑，
livelihood
爱
was
的
with
很无奈的表情哦，
was with
因为他们
agriculture
的两
and their
点唯一
crops,
生活
and
的
that had
这
been
个
destroyed.
家计吼，就是靠着这个种田嘛。啊，因那呢，因都唔知道要安怎吼，对，这个都是还有
So
这个我们有的
when
地
we came
方
to
就
the
算搭
disaster
船
site,
过
we
去，
also
刚好遇到
met
辽
some
国
of
的
the
总
officials
理
and the
的
family
太
of the
太
officials
哦，
at
这
the
个不知道
time.
几年修的啊。那我们看到他们也亲力亲为的去看灾。那我们可以看到哦，他们的渡河
Now you
的
can
是
see
什
in
么
the
呢？
photos that
四
the way
只
that
铁板
folks
的船
crossed the
绑在
river
一
was
起，
in putting
然后
together
呢
kind of
就渡河去了哈。
a
真的是很漂
makeshift
亮，有没有看到？哇，
contraption
蓝天白。
by
可
putting,
是
I
当我
suppose,
们到
multiple
了这
pieces
个对岸的
of
时候，那个
materials
大自
together
然的灾害，你
to
看
create kind of
那
like a
整
small
个
pseudo
地
ship
基都
or
挖
boat
掉
of
了哦，
sorts.
整个地基都挖掉，那里有30几户根本就不能住。好，那这一个呢，他
In
白
any
天
case, showing
去，
a few photos here of
然
just
后这
the
个晚
scene at
上
that
就
time.
离开那里哈，因为守着家。
Now, that
其实
time when
在
we
家
went,
也是被辽
we
狗
also
轰
brought
的。
an
对，你看，
expert on
还有
rice
呢，
because we
我
wanted to
们
make sure to
那一
give
次
them
去哦，
the
就
best
特别
type
带一
of
个
rice.
稻米专
And
家，
this year we
因为我
found
们要
out that,
选
man,
最好的
the
米
rice that they've grown
米种
has
给他
actually
们了哈。
grown
那
very,
我们
very well
这个
and has
经
a
理
very, very
回报
beautiful
的是什么？
harvest.
他们种下的稻哦，就树也丰收啦哈。所以你看，有爱心送在众人祝福的稻子哦，就跟一般
So
不一样。所以我们连
the
夜
Buddhism
哈
that they
去
practice
这
in
个
Laos,
街上去选米
as
哈。
compared
那他
to
们是学
Mahayana
生国家，
Buddhism, what they
他
practice
们
is what we
供
call
养出
Theravada
家人哦，
Buddhism,
这
or
些出家人
the
用过了，
the
他们
little
才用
vehicle,
哦，
as
哈，还
opposed to
很
Mahayana,
虔
which is
诚，
the
还有
greater
沿路
vehicle.
托钵的哦，这个嘿，对，那这个就是我们呢到处去看
And
场
that
地，因为要
temple
发
that we
大
talked
米
about
嘛，看
earlier
场
is
地。
actually
刚才有
a
说过嘛，
temple
哈，
of
看
300 to
到那个，
400
其
years.
实那个寺庙是400年的一个古佛，哈。
Now in Sichi,
那
we
我
talk
们
about,
我
and Master
真的是
has
非
talked
常
to us
感
about
恩，为
how
什么呢？因
her
为上
direction
人
since the
为
very
佛
beginning
教
has been
为众生，
to
几个字，
for
6
Buddhism
个字嘛，
and
就是
for
我们
sentient
施工
beings
上人
as her
给
direction
他
in all
的
that
这
she
个
does.
6个字。我们到那里哦，几乎找寺庙都是找到寺庙作为我们发放的场地，因为他们其实都没有大的空间。
So
那问他们
when
的
we were
里
first
长啊，
preparing
那
for
里长
the
就说
disaster
没
relief
有
here,
我们没有适合的
we had
空
asked the
间。
officials,
那
hey,
我就
is
很
there
虔
a
诚的
suitable
哦，
place for
去
us to
跪在
conduct
佛
disaster
前，
relief?
就刚
And
才
at the
他
time, the
有为
officials
我
had told
准
us,
备的那
no,
个
I
画
don't think
面，
there is. And then
说
so
我
we
们这一次来是为了发放，
I started
因为这
praying
个
at the
水
time
灾
again, that we could
哈，
find the
我
right
们
place
有
because we're
可
here
以发放的空
to
间，
help
那真
people
的
out, help the
哎，
folks who've been
走
affected,
出
and we
走
really
出
hope
门
to
就
have
可
the
以看
opportunity to
到一
do
个
so.
很
And
大
then we
很
were
适
very
合我们
fortunately
发
able
放，
to
因为我们发放都是
find
9
this
年
location,
的，
find this
哦，
temple,
场
and
地太小
secure
不
it.
行。那这个就是有2位中医随团，想要来保护我们啦、因为那里的天气很热，好、怕有的人临时这个没有办法适应哈、那他们去呢，哦，非常用心哦，这个也帮忙发放哦。那中医师原本都是在诊间呐、哈，
So
量量
we had a
这
number of
个
volunteers there,
把
including,
脉
for
呀、
example,
针灸，
doctors and
其实没有做
acupuncturists
过
who
这么
all
出众的
joined
事
us
情，
in different
让他们
tasks,
去
right?
就是搬运
Beyond
搬
their
运哦，
specific
而且
roles,
还非常
like
感
helping to
动哦，只要
carry
是
the
我在发
rice
放
or
的时
various
候，然后都
materials.
会虔诚祈祷。那
So
小
we're
朋
very
友
grateful
也
to all the
跟着我们
volunteers
祈
for
祷
that.
啊！你看他们的这个寺院的那个山门啊，都做得很漂亮啊。我们的师兄姐哈、因为因客气，人家给他们东西也许是少少的，那我们给他们都是很大哦。还有我们真的进步到很，
Now, for the relief victims,
因为科技。 以
comparatively,
前
we
都要
actually
搬很
gave
大
them a
很
lot of
米
resources
啊
like
什
the
么的，那
rice
灾
or
民有时候
other
你料理那
material
么多
resources
包，
to meet their
对他
needs.
们来
But
讲也是很
actually
辛苦。好，
being able
所以我们
to
现在都用那个卡，
carry all of
哦，
that
只要那个卡，
is
他们
actually
我们
very
可
difficult
以
for
分
them
好
as
几
well if
次，
there's
他
a
们的
lot of
卡只要到他
stuff
们
to
的
carry.
量
So we
仓
actually
去
used a different
就
method.
可以
We
哦。
gave them
好，
kind of
比如
like
说他
a
们有时间
almost like a
去规划
card
用什
of
么车
sorts
来载，
um,
所
that they
以
could
好进
use
步。
to
那当
go
地的一
to, I
些
believe, a
官员
storage
啊，
area at some
都觉
point to
得
pick
好
up
神奇哦，你
the
们怎么可以
the
做到这
resources
样
when
哦？
they're
那
ready and
这
when
一
they
次
have
是
the
只有
means to
给
do
他们
so.
米哦。
Like, for
那
example, when they're
这
able to
位
prepare the right transportation
跪在
for
地
that.
上的，忽然在我前面
So
跪下去了哈，
um,
我吓
the
坏
folks
了
were
哈。这个
very
赶快把
touched
他
and
拉起来，
grateful to
原
us,
来他是一个感
not
恩，
only for just
因
how
为他们
much
觉得说怎么可以在这样
we
的时
were
候
able to
可
give
以得
them
到这
and
么
help
多的
them,
东
but
西哦。那这个
also
就
with
是
just
还有我
um,
们都要布
how
善
we were
种子，对不
committed
对？
to helping
那
them.
他们呢很发心，这整个村里面有好几位来，很发心哦。
And many
他
of
们
these
也要
folks who
当
we
志
helped
工，
actually
而且
decided they wanted
每
to
个
become
月也要
volunteers
捐
too.
钱，然
They
后
learned of the
要
story
让他
how
知道
Tsuji
我们慈
began
济
with
是从
folks
5毛钱
donating,
开
for
始的
example,
哈，
just 50
所以
cents a
他们
day.
也要当志工。那这个就是在这个我们发现到的，他们其实当地人都不知道哦。哦，我们发现到的，就如刚才我们马来西亚说，因公他们是佛教徒啊，可是去到的都是什么教堂？那我们真正就是发现到，哎，哇
So again,
，400
earlier
年
we
的
were
古
talking
佛
about
啊，原来400年的古
how
佛
Master's
在那
direction
里等我
is
们那么
for
久哦。
Buddhism and for
当我们
sentient
慈
beings.
济
And
人
so
这个时候
when
来
we
到
were
这
able
里
to
来
secure
求
that
灾哦，
temple
那其实我当下
and
就很
see
感动哦，就上人为佛
yeah,
教
see
会
that
众
we
生
had the
缘
300 to
来都
400 year
为
old
你
temple that
铺
we
路
could
了哈。
use.
对，
It
而
just felt
且
like
哈，这
everything
个
came
这
together
个
so
是非常
serendipitously.
古的一
It
个古
was
佛哈，然后你
both
会
for
看到那里
Buddhism and
就
for
是他
sentient
们
beings.
全村的一个播放的一个播放器，那我们就在那里试哦哈。 因为我们要发放要
At the
祈祷
time, we
哦，
also
在
played the
那里
song
播什么嘞？
Prayer, um,
祈
and I
祷。
felt so touched that we
我
could
们
share
当
it
下也很
there
感动，我们的祈祷
in
的歌
Laos
可以在辽国这
as
样
well.
子来播放哈。那这个就是他们
And man, you can see just
临
how
时
tough
的
life is there,
自
right? There was
己
a bridge there that
自己
was made
造
of
的桥
just
都是竹
bamboo,
子哦，
right? And
然
yet
后用塑胶绳
they
绑
are
着。
still able to
哇，
use
他
something
们
like that
也用这
that
样来
perhaps
过
is not the
河
best
还骑
constructed
摩
or
托车
with the most
哦，
sturdy
真的很辛苦。然后这个
materials.
就
That's what
是一
they
个
still have to use
考验，
because that's what they
是去
have.
访视，
And then
然
here
后
you see
告
an
诉我
individual
这
who
个就是一个
is actually
他
blind
们那时候
and
参
deaf.
加战争， 然后
And
眼睛瞎了，耳朵也聋
I
了。
was hoping to
那
hear
我
his
那时候
story,
想说，
but
哇，
then
都听不到看不到，
found
那
that
我怎
I
么去访
actually
视他呢？
it would be very
我那时候
challenging
真的
to
心里想说，那我怎么
hear
办
his
啊？
story
后
because
来
he is
忽
blind
然
and
想
deaf.
到我背包里面
And so,
有
in any
带
case,
了一
I
点
took
那个
out
饼干，然后我就把饼干慢慢的
cookies from or crackers from my bag, And I thought, okay, maybe this is a way to communicate with him. And so I shared some of these crackers with him. And
忽然有东西啦哈，所以他慢慢尝，有味道哦，然后他就一口一口的吃。
And even though he couldn't see and couldn't hear, as I put the cracker near his mouth, that was where he knew I was there and was giving that cracker to him. And then as I was leaving, I was also thinking, oh, hey, how do I make sure he's okay afterwards? So I guided his hands to the container, I believe, for the crackers, make sure that he knew how to work with that after I left as well.
也看到那张照片没有放进去，中医师也马上为他按摩，为他把脉，他有感觉哦，就比这里痛那里痛那个感觉哦，因为。
So on the screen right here, this photo is of a driver who accompanied us the whole way because it was very difficult to drive along that road or along that path. He had to constantly step on the brakes.
因为那个路啊很难开，他脚要不断的踩刹车啊。我发现他为什么
I believe when we were resting or something, he actually was, constantly going down to his, reaching for his leg. And I asked what was going on. And through the translators found out that his leg was in a lot of pain because he had to constantly step on the brakes as we were driving and navigate with his legs. And so hearing of this, I took out what I had to hopefully be able to help him. And he just felt so touched that, you're here to help the folks who have been affected by disaster. And even for me, as I'm driving and just something like this, right? Like, oh, my leg hurts. You even care about that and care about me. And so he also was very touched and wanted to become a volunteer.
上人要我们如果要行菩萨道，你一定要走入人群，去爱上人所爱的人。就像我们在这个菲律宾赈灾的，上人说，你们给他香鸡饭吃，比给他钱还重要，因为那时候常住师父他们送了1000多箱的香鸡。
Now, in some of the disaster relief in Philippines, Master had tells us, in this case right now, where the folks there so need food and sustenance, it's even more important that we give them this instant rice than it is for us to give them, for example, cash. And so that in those times, we must have broken records for how much rice we cooked for the individuals and families. And you can see that in facing every disaster and facing every situation, Master is very thorough in how she makes sure that we take care of the folks who we are helping, right? The way that we care and give our love cannot just be one side, or cannot just be from one particular aspect or another. It really must cover all aspects of their needs and be almost like a complete solution or a complete giving of our love to these folks who we're helping.
对哦，要加倍的还呢所以上人要我们完整的爱那这个呢
On screen, you see this individual.
之间差非常多但是这个也算是我们的
You can see that, for example, some of his furniture is particularly broken down, or is perhaps not in a very good condition, but he was still someone who was so willing to give to others. Now, jumping past this example,
像我们之前的国际赈灾，其实在这个辽国它是第96个国家那之前那么多， 我一直很感动的，就是说现在不是流行一句话叫
Now,
做
way back
超前
in
部署嘛？
1991,
那上人在很早以前就像1991年，就让有因缘有一些地
already
方
pretty
它
early or
水
earlier
灾
in
等
the
等的
days of
灾难，
Tzu
让这个全省的师兄姐出去参加国际
um,
赈灾。可是到最
Master
后
and
我
Tzu had given the
有一次
opportunity
到最
for
后
many
其
different
实是
volunteers to
海
go
外的家
and
人
partake
也
in
跟着
disaster
我们去
relief.
赈灾，对不对？在辽国就有马来西亚有一个郭良敏他就问我说美珠师姐，
And
你
in
今
one of the
年几
times I
岁？
went out to do
那个
disaster
时候我
relief,
跟他
somebody
说
had
我
asked
18
me,
岁
"Hey, how old are you?" And I
他
told
说
them, "Oh,
记
I'm
了
18
50
years
岁，我
old."
说是
Even though, of course,
18
that
岁
was not my
你也
actual
可以
age
出
at the
来
time.
国际赈灾还可以当工作人员，我要跟
And then
你，
another
我要学
time,
习你
another volunteer
那
had
我就觉得后来我们回来的时候
had
有
said
一
to me
个
like, "Man, you know, Sister
南部
Meizhu,
的
we're
部长
younger than you,
他
but
就说美珠师姐
we
有
almost
一
can't
点
catch
我
up
们
to
都
your
袂丢
footsteps
呢
because you're able to move
无
so
惊会讲好
quickly."
一个人后
And
来我
so
有咱去嘞对不对？
what I've taken away is
那
that
我一直很感动
for
的，就是
Master
说
to give
上
in
人
people like
在
myself,
这
for
个
so
国
many
际
of
赈
these
灾
volunteers to
让
go
那
and
么
do
多
disaster
人
relief,
可以出
that
去参
is
与，可
really
以去
giving us
各
the
国，
opportunity to
其实
go
是布
and
善
spread
种子。
seeds of love
这一次疫
around the
情
world.
都是所国所成，在国内的师兄姐根本就也没有办法出去咯。但是在国外那么多国家灾情那么严重，他们仍然是义无反顾的去送物资、送关怀、送素食便当，还推素。
Now, if we're just
如
thinking
果
about disaster relief for
以
Tzu in
前没
general,
有国际赈
if we
灾，
didn't have
或者
disaster
是
relief at
国
all,
际赈
or if we
灾
limited
是
disaster
让
relief to only
这个
certain
台湾
volunteers
的师
from
兄姐出去，
certain
没有国外的师兄姐参
certain
与，
groups of people,
今天的
then
局
things
面
would be
就不
very
是这
different
样。
today.
所以你看
Because
上
we
人的
have
智
the
慧
opportunity for
都
so
是
many
在
volunteers
超
to
前部
participate in
署的
disaster relief,
而且上人
that
说过
gives
因为我
our
们
brothers and
这个
sisters the
国际
opportunity
赈
to
灾
form so
有
many
那么多
positive
的人参
affinities
与，
and to
我
share
们
the
有那
love
么多
and
的
the
这个
values of
师兄
Tzu
姐，可以有
and to do
更
the
多
work
的
of
语
Tzu
言，
all
在
around the
需
world.
要的时候，
So
他们
I'm
都可以
really
传递
so
慈济
touched
人的爱，
to
提
have
供
this
慈济人
opportunity
的理
to
念，
partake in
做慈
this
济人的
disaster
事
relief.
情。
And that really
所以呢，真的是
has helped
非
me to
常非
deeply
常的
feel
感
the
动
compassion and the
我
wisdom of Master.
因为有参与
And
在
I've been
里
able
面
to
就
see
觉
the
得上人
technology
的
that
慈
Tzu has
悲
come
智
up with,
慧，
the instant
尤
rice,
其
these
是大爱感恩
portable
大请，
beds,
我们可以在
even
需要
technology
的
to
地
clean
方
water.
送抚慰床、送毛毯、香鸡换，
These various technologies
还
that have
有
become
呢
so
净
critical
水，
in our
然后
disaster
净
relief
水还
efforts
研发
and in
可
providing the
以
most critical
洗
needs to
手袋
disaster relief
水，为
victims.
它
Just
几个行
each
李
element
行
of
李箱
this I've
就
been
可
so
以
touched
把
by,
我们这样
and
的研发
I'm
的
so
净水
grateful and touched
到
by
需要水
all
的
of our
地
brothers
方，
and sisters
其
working
实
so
在
hard,
上
just like Sister
还
Meizhu,
是非
who
常非
leads
常的
this
感动，
online
那
book
也
study.
感动我们所有
It
的
is
师兄
another
师姐的
example
努
of
力像
these
我们美云师姐
these
这样
incredible
的一个
efforts by
线
Tzu
上
volunteers.
读书会，
So
也
let's
是
also give
这
Sister
个超
Meiyun
前
a
部
round of
署，
applause as well.
因为
She's
他们
probably
下
the
回
only
过
one
来，
in the
那
world
我们就把
who
法
has
传出
this
去，
kind of
是不
ability
是太棒了？我
to
们
bring
真的
people
要为
together
美
in
云
this
师姐
format.
拍拍手。
Every time I
她
come,
是全省唯一，
I get
应
to
该是全
see
球
her
唯一
energy
的
and
这个
ability one
这么
more time,
强
and
的
I'm so
能量
grateful.
我写都写不来。这
Now,
每次
Sister
来
Meiyun is
就是
saying,
再
you
度
can
的
really
温
see
习
how
她
Sister
的能
Meizhu
量，真的很感恩。
so
好，非常的，各
so
位，你听到吗？
gains
为什么
everyone's
他
respect
那
and
么让人
praise.
家敬重？因为像我们这种后生晚辈，他也随时在疼惜我们，给我们能量。再次感恩美珠师姐。
So because Sister Meizhu is really too
等一下呢，
incredible,
先
even
别回去，
folks
没有，我
from
喜欢跟
Laos
你
and
在
the
一起，所以我
Philippines
们要
have come
搞在一起
online.
一下哈。所以其实，在今天，因为他太有能量了，所以
And
辽
so
国的
Sister
上
Meiyun
司
is sharing a few of
是
these
菲律宾的也上
comments
线，这里美
from
国的子林师姐说，美珠师
folks
姐你
from
实
the
在有
Philippines
够优秀的。
and
然后
other
菲律宾林
places
小镇感恩您，
sharing
美珠
about
大
Sister
菩萨
Meizhu.
久违了，感恩您在世纪大灾难、海燕台风时 温暖的独鲁万灾民的真心，永难忘怀，无限感恩。小郑师姐是我们菲律宾第一届的执行长，小郑师姐，小郑师姐，小郑师姐，拜托你2021年一定要上线一次哈！ 我们这里全体拜托你用掌声响起，拜托哦，我们的小郑师姐，感恩。最近也常常听到菲律宾的讯息嘛，哈，然后呢，这里我们
And
的
now
北
more
加的
comments
50
from
参
the
加了好几次国
US,
际圣
from
战
the
训练，也做
Malaysia,
很多模拟与挑战，给自己人生增加
and
无
then
数的成
even
长。
comments
那
from
我
people
们
who are
的
leaving comments
信
for the
仰
first
的
time
分享
because
说，
of
美
Sister
珠师姐人
Meizhu.
间菩萨，感恩您无私的一个付出哈。那这边呢 ，Harry Ames 这是第一次留言，也是
And
因为
then
美
folks
珠
from
师姐是在罗萨，尤
Taiwan.
其是在
Now,
海
come
燕
on, add your
看
comments
到师姐
quickly
的
so
这
I
一
can
面。
read
请
it.
问一下 ，Henry， 你是不是在菲律宾的？桃园的丁宁彩，他说罗美珠慈悲。
I do want to make a quick clarification though. I wasn't the one who created this book study. It was actually after I retired, and the foundation was hoping that I could see if we could stand this book study out.
你真的是超前部署，我说我怎么去部署
Now more
我
comments.
只是挑战一下哈。那加拿大的树林，谢谢小
And
芬。
then for one of our audience members today, they're joining for the first time, so let's welcome them.
唱达艺术教育的老师第一次
And then we even have a volunteer from Jordan.
他们觉得哇，怎么这么神奇的一个读书会？谢谢我们唱达艺术教育学习老师哈。那约旦的秋华师兄，我们跟约旦秋华师兄挥挥手。
Now this volunteer from Jordan, despite the time difference, he has frequently joined us in this book study. But as he's gained a few years, I've told him, no, really, you can always watch the replay, take care of your health, make sure you don't come on at an unreasonable time for you. And then more comments.
因为顺服哈。那菲律宾家人也上线了 ，Page Shay， 谢谢你们哈。
From Canada, from Yunling in Taiwan.
最大的智慧福报，风趣的顺服师兄宣，还有娟秀的丽娟师姐是最
And
幸福
then
的道侣哈。
from volunteers in Malaysia.
云林的景慧说线上读书会，大家好。那我们这里哦，应该是雪龙的师兄姐的见证，他说顺服师兄，无论在家庭或在慈济，都用心在耕耘，真棒！好，所以要有人为他们做这样的一个见证。
Can we actually have some English comments? For example, this one right here. We would love to hear more English comments.
可不可以有人用英文？副总监，你可以进去写一点英文给我们吗？ Thank you, Brother Chen, for sharing their wonderful story. 他谢谢顺福师兄呢，分享了这么棒的一个故事哈。那重庆的陈冠廷就说，灾难前线。
One more time, let's give a warm round of applause to Sister Meizhu.
走入人群休息器，他们大陆都很厉害的，一天就马上写，真的热烈掌声。
All right, moving on.
感恩，谢谢。好。 那所以呢，其实我们棒棒接力真的非常感动。那现在到我们的重点顺口溜，重点顺口溜呢，我们5位美国的家人，他们现在不但要写顺口溜，还要写英文的重点摘要。还好，在这之前我有
This is a review from last week, and we do have a family from Canada, America who actually write down all this for us.
就给我们 上个星期金色法味
This one is from Beijing.
缅甸感恩爱纯洁罗
I
富
praise
岁好
for
延寿月
Kaohsiung Book
建筑
Club.
用心好绿园
The host,
万
Meiyun
众苏醒学
Sister
众
Meiyun
学
Shi,
那么北京的周尔欣
her
师
voice
姐
is
她说赞
so
叹高雄读书
good.
会美云师姐主持最不看荧幕光听音就把你能带开
And
心
this sister
真的
from
吗
Beijing, she always wrote a very
师兄分享
long
过新
review.
年年味法味人
Really
情味花
appreciate
莲慈院
her
罗庆辉睡得好
ability
就
of
有难
writing
老
such a
心灵舒
beautiful
畅最
review
重
for
要
us.
慈济歌曲伴
And
入眠
she
如常导演
always
陈
sent
思
it to
涵
us
看
right
过
away.
两遍泪湿山
And this is
全
from
部虚构只
United
因故事
States.
都要亲
Sister
身
Fang
去
Wen,
体
she
验
wrote
看
it.
到慈济就欢喜法喜充满
She
力
was from
无边
Kaohsiung, and now she lives in Texas.
美国顺口溜轮到是方文师姐，常常因为她家在高雄，
Now I'm going to
所以
say
呢
it
就是
very
来
quickly,
到这
so I
边
hope everybody
回台
follow
湾就
with
会来
me.
到主场。我们比较熟悉的5位其中的1位，现在要邀约大家用快速的节奏一起来念。Ready go！ 金色
And this
过
is
年
still
拜金
from
生，
方
年味
文
法味人情味，
Sister
提
Fang
高
Wen.
免疫防疫差，去除旧疾法入心，扣二缅甸输经
She's
国，
giving a
风灾
review
福
from
种
last
代代
week.
跟，
about the
岁月一
doctors
把米，
and
信受
also
奉
about
行
the
近思语。
director.
慈愿医王罗
I
庆
hope
辉
y'all
睡得好啊，人慢
you
老，
all watched
生理时钟要对
last
准，
week's
睡眠压力要
show,
够
book
累，
club.
警醒程度
We
要
have
放
many
松。
hosts
作
came
家导
over,
演陈诗安
directors,
融入生活的建筑，
doctors.
新城向度新体验，建筑可以不一样。一起抒情台南区，仿众护生李之荣，千人创爱肖维大，会员共善吕绿爱，每日叮咛丁雪
Let's
玉，
give our
简约
staff
生活
a
勿禁
big
用，
clap,
发
big
挥功能限
clap
良
of
人，
clap.
大小乾坤同进化呀，同进化。爱的鼓励， 一
Thank
起
you
给我
so
们
much.
所
You are
有
the
的
greatest.
顺口溜团队，爱的鼓励，贝贝来。
We actually do have more people who want to
顺
join
口溜
this
团
team,
队，
but
你
I
们
told them
好
that
棒！说真的，还有
sorry,
很多
we
人要
already
加
have
入，
enough
尤其
people,
大
but
陆好
thank you
会
so
写
much for your
是我
talent.
说，请写善效应，没办法让你们这样写，因为这样我老人家我念起来会很喘。好，
This
好，
couple,
时间文青
brother
大爱之音是每个月一
Wenqing and
次，非常的
sister
感恩。时间文青对我们团队来讲
Xiao,
非常的重要，因为他负责串联两
they
岸
are
三
so
地，尤其是
dedicated.
大陆
They
这个部分的
always
窗口的一
connect
个安
the
排。
people from
那么其实
China
他们也常透过善效应去让我们知道，
and let
他
them
们每一
join
次
our
啊，礼
book
拜一
club.
就
So
发
make
讯息，
this
然后从礼
international
拜
book
三的时
club.
候，我们是3小时，他们是从4小时。从刚开始你们一起来的时候，我们就要跟大陆的家人进行一个测试，然后他
What
们互
happens?
相
They're
邀约，
getting
并且要转
information
讯
from
息到
Beijing
我们
and
的
then log it down
Facebook，
and
然后
then
我们的脸书
give
的
it to
语
the
如再转到
Kaohsiung
我的手
staff.
机，我
The
才能够及
staff
时去，
people
所以真的
converted
非常
to
感恩。那大家可
Facebook.
以看一下，
So it's
其
a
实
lot of
文
work.
青也是我们的
And
英文口译团
let's
队，
take a
所以呢，
let's
今
take a
天
look
他
at their
同时也
house.
是
This
要
is
英
their
文口译，
workshop.
可是现在要
They
上
have
线，那
a
就是别人口译。
monitors,
那他们家就是这
computers.
样小小的摄影棚。啊，副总
And
监有没有
besides
很感
that,
动？
they
他一个人
also
这样，他们家一直在买机器。那本身他们是办国际学
having
校
an，international
所以
school.
呢，
So
在
today we
这
are
一个
so
方面呢，
happy
其
to
实是
have
很
them
有能
join
量的
us.
哈。所以，但是最主要是也很愿意哈。所以我们一
Hi,
起说了，
sister
我喜欢
Wenqing.
和你在一起，因为你有正能量。好，时间请文清请。
This is brother Wenqing and sister Shiqing. I'm so happy to see you today. Last, I don't know if you remember last time we talked about fire. Unfortunately, at California, there's so many wildlife, one after another. What we do is we went to the disaster place. We gave out flyers. We also donate a lot of goods for them. And this is the relief center that we are there to help out. We listen to those people who were suffered by the wildfire, and we hope that we can comfort them and give them some kind of confidence. Besides listening to them, we also share what Tzu Chi is doing right now, and we want to help them to stand up and then to build their house all again. And when we give them like this blankets, we also tell them how important it is to have to do a recycling, because without recycling, there will be more and more wildfire in the future. We show them what our recycling volunteer did in the past. We also invite them to this online musical event that's happening on October 17, Saturday. This will be the international musical event broadcast around the world. I'm sure everybody feels so uncertain about what's going on in this world right now, about the glacier is melting. This is in comparison 1980 and 2019. And this is the red algae on top of the glacier. It's a picture of the Earth with Australia, and that's actually the one with the red color. That's Australia wildfire. This is the so many earthquake, tsunami happening all over the world, and the flooding, wildfires. Earth is getting hot and hotter. Even the moisture land at Brazil is having wildfire too. And this is a picture of Siberian rainforest. It's destroying a lot of natural places. And this is a cyclone happening at Africa.
让很多国家闹大水灾，其中包括了莫桑迪克、马拉维、津巴威。那么在这个东非温度上来，那么蝗虫都孵化了，造成了蝗灾。那蝗灾呢
？This is what happened in Africa. There's so many crops destroyed.
杀虫的话也会破坏环境。那么它
all the red dots here, they are the places that were affected by this natural disaster. Even though we are the ruler of this world, but we are keep destroying the ecosystem of this earth. And when earth is fighting back, we have no way to protect ourselves. The earth seems to be warning us little by little, but we are still not aware. So it's time that we have to act together. What can we do right now? Remember what Zhen Master told us? Love. First one is love the family, love your community, the interracial love, cross-religious love. We don't have to care about the color of the skin. Let's help each other and love each other. And how about the love to animals? We share the earth together.
那我们也要爱动物，动物跟我们一起共享这个地球。那么动物也是生命，它彼此也有爱。然后我们人对动物也是都是有很好的爱。那么我们应该要爱护动物，不要把动物当作食物来吃。那么我们爱护动物呢，要大家一起来。
And then the third one is respect the world and respect heaven and earth. We have to protect our atmosphere.
我们要敬天地，爱物命。我们要爱护大气层，不要污染空气，不要制造太多的二氧化碳。那么要爱护水资源，节约用水，不要污染水源。然后我们大地不要破坏，希望维持大地的完整自然的生态。那么由于战争、天灾造成的世界粮食的分配非常的不平均，那世界饥饿的人口将近有8亿多。那联合国对世界粮食安全也有一些规划，对于未来以经济和环境保护来维持粮食的安全。
There's a campaign to talk about being hunger for 30 hours. If you want, you can experience it. What's it like to be hungry all the time? And also, the vegetarian is so important for the environment. And this is about energy saving. We can conserve the energy by not to turn on all the lights in our house. 1 hour can make a very big difference if you do it once a day. And don't forget about the 5R. What are they? Reduce, reuse, recycle, revive, and restore. And the next is love our rainforests. The rainforests are the lungs of Earth. Without them, all the air will be polluted in the air.
没有森林呢，我们的肺就像整个地球都被污染了。所以热带雨林是提供给我们动物、植物优异的生长条件，是我们人类跟所有的生物生存共栖息的重要基地。我们要真的热爱我们的热带雨林，它是我们生物的多样性生存。有这么一个世界森林日，就是让我们人人保护地球，人人有责。唯有完整的大爱，才能造福全球的福祉。所以，我们完整的大爱就是首先要爱人类，爱惜粮食，
Great love
爱物命，
embraces all
可
living
再生的
beings.
能源要利
The
用。
complete love must become vegetarians.
所以大爱包容一切
The
众
world is
生，
in
唯有完
desperation.
整的大爱，
All
那就是非
work
恕不
together
可。在此，
together.
我们要天地告急，四大
Respect
不
heaven
调，
and love all
众生共
beings.
业，
The magic
敬
remedy,
天爱地，
the
疼惜
magic
众生，
remedy is
民邦妙妙，
vegetarianism.
斋戒如数， 共造福业， 旋转乾坤。 在
Don't
此，
you
我
think
们
they are
虔诚
so
的祈
good?
祷
In
祝
10
福
minutes, they
平
were able
安
to
吉
say all
祥。
the important
好，
things
非常感恩，有没有
because they are
精准的
also
10分钟哈？因为你们
working
觉得他
at
们口
the
条很
radio
好，他们是
station.
北加州大爱之
So
音
they
的
are
主
very
持
good
人
at
呐。
tracking
所
the
以其
time.
实就这个，那其实常常有时候时间师姐他们会讲说姚校长，姚校长，好，因为他们办理的是国际
Remember
学
last
校，
week,
那么两岸
the
三地。
doctor
那我们
told
在
us
上一
it's
次
so
听了我们
important
的罗
to
庆辉副院
sleep
长去讲到
good
说
and sleep
要
early.
睡得好，然后我们就两个勉励说，哎，我们两个准时一点睡觉。我可以挑战一点点，他完全不行，因为他说他在美国，
We're so
所以呢，
grateful
等
for
到
this couple. They've been
亚洲
working
清醒的时
day
候，
and
就是他们
night to
很晚的
connect
时候。
people from
所以在这样的一
Beijing,
个因缘
from
下，他还像
Taiwan,
日以继夜
from
串联两岸三
California,
地，所以让我们非
and
常感
United
动。
States.
而其实他们今天，哎，画面上应该是他们吧？我不晓得我出现，是他们哦，是他们，不是我哈。你们让我常出现，我会害羞。好，在书里面335页的时候哦，上人就讲，从过年前我速度提起，我的心很忧郁，总是担心着天
Master
下
Zhen Yan
事。
says
从
she's
亚
always
马
worried
逊
about all
云
this
的大火
wildfire
到澳
happening
洲的林火，
everywhere
世界
around
各
the
地的
world,
山林大火，灾情
like
都
the
很
one
严
in
重，
Australia.
尤其是澳洲林火，直到现在尚未控制。地球有多少森林可以被烧呢？那其实对他们而讲。他们上一次跟我们分
And
享说，
brother
他从来没有
Wenqing and
想
sister
到
Shiqing,
他们
they
家
never
随时
thought
要
about
准
one
备手
day
机，准
this
备
will
要逃
happen to
生，
them
就是
in
只要政府跟
California
他们
because
讲
right
说
now
你
they live
们
in
要准备
California
咯，那他们
and
就要离
California
开。
is
可是，
also
在离
affected
开
by
的
the
时候，他们当
wildfire.
下其实准备蓝天白云。那现在我们可以从这里知道，最近就是一直在对于林火这个部分啊，我们有邀约北加州的执行长。
This is our
谢明
important
静师兄
staff
来跟
who
我们
help
去
us
谈
connect
所以真的非常感恩。那我们再次让你们
China,
多认识他
Taiwan,
们，我们非常
and
重要的
America.
团队，
Thank you so
在
much.
两岸三地帮我们做串联，感恩我们的慈静跟文清，再次掌声，谢谢。好，这里回复一下哈，我们的Effie， 你说。Excellent translation team from USA benefits us.
We have a listener, her name is Effie, and she doesn't understand Chinese, so she depended on this English
完
translation.
全是看不懂中文，但是听得懂中文，然后也要翻译这一个部分。那我们文清师兄他也是属于翻译团队，今天是我们美国 A 组在做连线的一个翻译哈。那我们的新加坡的Yijun 邓医师他说，慈济 relief efforts are second to none global.
This is a message sent from Malaysia.
Gratitude, respect and love. 就我们全世界真的就是我们唯一了，而且就是感恩、尊重、爱。好。然后这边 F 又说 Wow, learn so much from the disaster relief mission from Sector 陈罗 So proud with all the 慈济 volunteers. Their selfless effort is
Just recap
relieving
what the English
suffering during
feedback
disasters.
just
感恩
mentioned.
他说从罗美珠师姐的一个身上里面 感受到这样子的一个灾难的现场，然后去努力，也感受到我们慈济人的一个无私哈。那刚才的时间的国际赈灾还有另外挑战力，就是语言交通的一个沟通能力哈。那我们的Sunny说，看到大自然灾害再美的地方也逃不开灾难发生，看到辽国的风景那么美，但一样受到大自然反扑，这也是人类要省思的一个地方，要忏悔哈。
Please, if you have time, send us a message, give us a feedback.
大家持续给我们的
It's very important for us to know what you
留言
think.
的家人哦，麻烦一下。
And we
那这边姐妹
will
朱师姐很贴心，
happily
身上
accept
随
all
身
your
带的，连吃
opinions,
的、敷的药
suggestions.
都会
We love to hear
带
from
着，
you.
让
So
人
please
家
send
觉
us a
得你
feedback.
想要什么帮助，他马上给你哈。那秋华师兄又说了，感恩美珠分享上人法完整的爱。Liso， 你说美珠师姐真是我们海外的一个典范哈。那我刚刚哈在滑手机的时候有看到我们日本的又有一个新朋友上线，
Let me
我
go
待
back
会滑一
and
下哈。
read it later.
因为我看到日本那个他们的那个出现的那个名字，我就觉得很感动。好，而且昨天日本大爱新闻有他们就日本的翻译这个部分哈，也开始在做成立。他们说，就算影响一个人，也是一个
This is a
很棒的一
message
个
from
影响哈。
China.
那没有办法，
If I don't have time
帮
to
大
read
家
all
念
the
完的部分，
messages,
我们会帮您整理。来自西安的于建龙说，全球家人相聚日子又
please
到了，
forgive
很
me.
欢喜听见家人
But
们分
I
享。
do value
好，
all
所以感
your
恩秋华师兄
feedback
上
and
线，
suggestions.
很晚喽，还能上线，赞叹不已哈。那丽娟，就是刚才上线，丽娟非常感恩高雄，还有罗美珠师姐。好，秋华师兄说，美珠师姐您是菩萨。慧香师姐说，顺福师兄与丽娟师姐两位菩萨都很 humble， 很谦卑，是很棒的。美珠师姐是人间菩萨哈，所以
Feedback from
好
China.
的，那接下来呢？ 在
He's
这边，我
mentioning
们的
that
长春留村之后，
he's
高
so
雄镇上
happy
组所以又到
to
了，
come
每一次都
to
能
the
感受
book
到
club
像莲
again.
山大法会真的是
He
传
can't
法
wait
持续人才，
every
慈
week.
济宗门人人来。每一次在这里都能看到慈济人法入心的事实，真的看到莲花朵朵开哈，非常感恩。然后接下来呢，就是大家
October
觉得眼睛要
17th,
亮
there's
起来的地
exciting
方哈
news.
那觉得眼
Morning
睛要亮起来，我
Taiwan
们看
time
看再一
9:50,
次
we
跟他们
are
大家
going
讲，
back
我们
to
16、
Hualien
17
to
线
visit
上读
Master
书会
Zheng
去许
Yan.
跟17号早上10点到12点，9点50分就可以上线了哈。我们把讯息给你们。
Okay,
那
now
希
it's
望
time
呢
for stretch out and
海内外
exercise.
全部
Everybody,
全球，我们等
if
到
you're
您
tired,
上
please
线哈。
get
好，
up
接
and
下来
let's
就是
stretch
我
and
们
work
活
out
络
with
筋骨
us.
的地方，掌声欢迎我们活动组。
Hi. Einstein used to say, if everybody become vegetarian,
爱因斯坦说，如果
then
全世
human
界的
will
人
have an
都
amazing
吃素的话，
energy
那人
and
类
amazing
将会
ability.
有正能
I'm
量
the
不
reporter
可
of
思议的改
Da'ai
变哦。
TV.
我是大爱记者查婉珍，噔噔。
Now I'm
那
going to
就是现在，
interview
我要为
many
大家
great
介绍
personality in the
我
world
们世界
who are also
非常
vegetarian.
有名的伟人。这几位伟人，他们吃素时的心得分享。
This
首
is
先，
Mr.
我们
Obama.
一起来欢迎我们的巴拿马先生，奥巴马，掌声欢迎！耶！
Hi everybody，你把我名字叫错了。
哎呀，
每一个人对这个世界都可以有重大的贡献。想一想，吃肉食的背后，对所有的动物造成有多大的灾难啊！ So
Let's please make a little
our
change
changes and do something for the
and change the
only
world.
earth. 请大家做一点点的改变，来维护我们唯一的这颗地球吧。Yes, we can.
Yes, we can！ 哇，我们再一次掌声谢谢我们的奥巴马。
Well, yeah, okay. You look beautiful. You are.
Oh, your eyes
Now, next
are
one,
bigger.
who is this?
Thank you, thank you. 哎，
Do you
各
know who
位
this
全球的
person
家
is?
人，我们呢接下来就是我右
He
手
is the
边，来看
inventor
看
and
他拿着
scientist.
这个灯泡，你们一看就知道，他就是发明家，也是科学家哦。哎，
Mr.
现在我
Edison,
们就
welcome
掌声
to
来欢迎
Taiwan.
我们这位
Let us know what do
Mr.
you
Edison。
think of being
，Edison 先
vegetarian?
生来， 欢迎你到我们台湾，
Being a
跟我们分
vegetarian
享一
is
下
good for
你吃
brain,
素的心得。
for your health,
吃素
and
对
also
我
for
们
your
的头
energy.
脑、行为，然后健康和体力都有深远的影响。
We have to stop
除非我
slaughtering
们
animal
停止杀生，
because we
否
are
则
not
我
wild
们都是
people.
野蛮人。
Let's thank
我
Edison.
们大家都是文明人，你们说是不是啊？是。
Next.
再一次掌声，谢谢我们的
He is
Edison，
amazing
谢谢感
person.
恩。好，接下来呢，
His work,
哎，
his business
要为大家
is
呢
all over the
专访的
world.
这一位呢不得了，
He
他的
is
事业呢
Mr.
遍
Bill
布
Gates.
全球，
He's
也
also
就
a
是我们
vegetarian.
微软的总裁哦。让我们来欢迎我们的比尔·嘎兹先生。哎，来，到这边过来一下，哎好，
大家好，大家好。
In order
地
to
球
have a peace
未
on
来
earth,
要靠事实，
we need to
为了和
become a
平，
vegetarian.
请成为事实者，请
This
大
will
家
bring
一定要做
safe
到哦，因为
and peace
偶语不
to
太
this
标准。
world.
谢谢大家。
哦，我们大家
Thank you,
一定
Mr.
要
Bill Gates.
素食，大家说好不好？好，再一次谢谢 ，Thank you 哈，我们比尔盖茨先生
We
呢，谢谢
interview
你。好，来，
President,
我们刚刚已经
businessman,
访问过
scientist
我们的企业家，还有我们伟大的发明家，还
next
有我
one,
们的奥巴马总统。现在呢，我们要访问的
This
这个呢，
person
是有上帝
so much
跟
love,
佛菩萨的大爱的一
especially
位
toward
非常伟大的
people
人
who
士，
need
他有
love.
伟大的爱心，他的爱心遍布整个苦难的众生，
Let's
在黑
welcome
暗中点亮一
Mother
盏灯。
Teresa.
他是谁呢？让我们用掌声来
Welcome
欢
to
迎
Taiwan,
我们
Mother
的
Teresa.
德雷莎修
Please
女。
About being
修女，欢
vegetarian.
迎你来到我们台湾，跟我们分享一下吃素的心得。谢谢。
We don't have
我们无力做伟大的事
a lot of
情，
power to do big
我们
stuff,
只能
but what
以
we
伟大
can
的爱
do
做细
is
小的
by
事情，
being
譬如自己
vegetarian.
吃素，也拉大
This
家
is the
一起来
basic
吃
what you
素。
can do now.
哇，
And
自
this is
己
the
吃
small
素
love,，
我们
and
还
it
要
will
邀
slowly
约
affect the
所
people
有的人，
around you.
全世界的人一起来吃素。大家说好不好？好，我们再次掌声感恩我们付出无所求、大爱无国界的修女，谢谢
Now,
你。
who's
哎
this?
呦
Who is this?
哦，这个眼镜不自觉的掉下来，再给它
Because
挂
she's
上
from
去就好。
Taiwan.
哎，来，我们看
I
到
know
这
the
身
girl.
边
You're
有一
so
位
cute.
很可爱的，感觉好像是我们台湾的小朋友哦。
What is your name?
来，小朋友，你好可爱，
I am
请
the
告诉阿姨，你叫做什么
cartoon
名字？
character.
小丸子，
哦，小丸子有没有很棒、很可爱、很
Can
棒
you？tell
给
us
他一
why
个
you
掌
want
声
to be a。vegetarian?
哇，小丸子，请
I'm
告诉我们大
vegetarian
家，
because
你
Earth
为
is
什么
sick,
要吃
And I love
素？
my Mother Earth.
地球妈妈生病了，我爱地球
That's
妈
right.
妈。
Our Mother Earth is
哇！请问
sick.
大家有没有爱地球妈妈？
If Earth is peace and
爱，没有
safe,
错，
we
地球
are
妈妈
peace and
平
safe.
安，我们地球上的
Therefore,
每一位孩
being
子
vegetarian
才能够
will
平
keep you
安，是不是
healthy,
啊？
keep you full
所
of
以素
energy.
食可以
We
让
need to
我们
protect
延年益寿，更能够让我们的地
and
球
save our
充
lives.
满活力哦！哎，守
Everybody,
护
please
地球，
become a
守
vegetarian
护
just like us.
生命，大家一起来素食。Yes, we can！哇，掌声，
Now
谢谢。好，来。
We want to invite everybody around the world, stand up.
全球的家人，平安健康的家人，请站起来。
Let's do some
我们吃
exercise.
素之前一定要洗手，对不对？特别是这一首歌是我们的商副总裁做的，这商副总监。哇，今天我突然间当这个大爱记者，有一点给他茶碗蒸，但是大人有大量。相互
This is a
总监
song for
所以我们要卖力地跳，好
exercise
不好
to stretch yourself.
好，开始喽。
about washing hands. And just move your hands, move your body, people on stage, enjoy the music.
总监你自己不太会哦。跟我们同编，找我一人会编，可以跟我们同编吗？同方向
about how to wash your hands thoroughly, the front, the back, left and right. Make sure to wash your fingers, fingertips. When you wash your hands, when you open the faucet, don't open too strong. Make sure you save all the water, preserve energy, preserve water source. Next song, this song is, the name is called My Name is Bravery.
接下来带来的这首歌叫做《我的名字叫勇敢》。
You can also stand up. And move your body with the melody.
面带微笑。
是谁被遮住了阳光，能打开另一扇窗？是谁挥着手上的翅膀，也能越过海洋？是谁被蒙住了双眼，依然看得见希望？是谁面对人情的冷暖，还是选择原谅？黑暗中只要一盏灯，就能把四周照亮。手心向下，你会发现心境更宽广。我的路不平坦，纵然还有一点难。我的泪跟着汗水随风干。
This song's about when you face challenge, don't give up. Because your name is called bravery. Vegetarianism, we all need to be brave and have lots of courage. Every time our instructor here, I always wonder what she's going to be this time. She always brings me surprise.
在这里我们就知道他当大爱记者，副总监在那边，他一定不想录取你。
I got so into my performance, and my wig fell off.
连头发都掉下来了，真的很可爱，对不对？
If you know her, you know.
对。
She always brings us
如果您
laugh.
跟他
She
更
has
接触的时候，他常常在卖
a
笑，
very
就是让大家很开心。
emotional
可是每一
story.
个人都有故事，说真的，他故事是很令人家感动的。对，那不哭。他那一天跟我，因为我们16、17号要回去巡更。 然后17号已经晚上回来，18号我们团队还要去做新娘颁奖典礼。我们其实有去提出说，我们今年可能会有这样的状况。
Always back to back, like
愿意给我们机会挑战。那所以以他来讲，他就是要不时去激发想很多的想法。于是他们家就很多的道具。
Because she has so many ideas,
跟他讲说
she has a lot of props in her house.
不要再堆那么多道具，你可不可以不要再演戏？
Her mom
那你
told
什么
her
东西都
that
带回去。
please don't buy any more props. Our
应该
house
是带回去，不是
cannot
买
hold
的。
all those things.
买的
She
吗？
is so dedicated.
回收的，大部分都回收。
Each time she gives
对，所以其
110%.
实真的很感动，慈济人背后都有很多的故事啊。好，那你看他很优秀这样子哈，但是他也不能去国际赈灾了。我在想，好，
Even though she's skinny,
不是，不够
she
抽
can eat a
用。
lot.
可是
She
你不要看
always
他这样，他
finishes
好会吃饭，我们都觉得很可怕。为什么他可以吃3
boxes
个餐
of
盒，
food every
但是
time.
不会胖？你这是比较我们
She never gained
不
weight.
怕他吃3个餐盒，但是是很气，为什么他不会胖？
She has
这
this
简直觉得很
ability.
不公平。我们就吃一点点1/3就会胖的，然后他吃
We love her
3
so
碗
much.
也不会
Let
胖。
me give you back your
所以
hair.
其实，在这个当下，我们真的非常喜欢我们的活动团，2个活动团队都好可爱。头发还给你。
谢谢梅老师，谢谢大家。
Here are some feedback from our viewers.
好，这边我们刚才上线的丽娟啊，她说丽娟在这边感恩大家的美言及肯定，因为上人让我们幸福美满，感恩上人，感恩今天线上的菩萨家人，让顺福及丽娟今天绕腿丢进步。好，他们有说美人老师爱我，很爱我，谢谢。好，我们的 Anchor Fan 说感恩上人慈悲，也感恩美珠师姐。
This is from Singapore, and here this message from Philippines.
让新加坡的菩萨也可以跟海外家人一起来出一份力。菲律宾的印如年轻人，记得在海燕峰再看到不怕辛苦的美珠
And
师
here's
姐。
another feedback. Say, I want to be strong and elegant so I can attend the
修行自己变优秀，希望能
disaster relief.
国际脚步，所以非常感恩哦。所以你看，你跟我一样哦。哎，肖副总监，你是不是跟我一样？要第一个要抽用，一个要优秀。我也是第一次听呢，谢谢，我不曾这样子听过哈。然后呢 ，Angel Tin，the American power of self-reflection as shared by the brother Chen of Malaysia. When one can lower oneself to apologize for one's wrongdoing thing.
And this feedback is talking about earlier the brother from Malaysia.
就是愿意放下身段，然后呢去道歉，其实给人家就很大的一个能量哈。好，非常感恩。然后 就是我们讲师初级精彩自己了哈。我们肖副总监呢要去想，我们都是大概提早半年就开始问您要分享的主题是什么，然后所有人都会处在一个状况，半年以后的事情，可是我们邀约都是1年以后的事情啊，半年要想主题，所以在这个当下，我说很简单，你全部都讲这个。我的
Okay, this is Liang translating for you for the last session by our Deputy Superintendent of Dai TV, Brother Xiao.
不会很陌生的，可是我们非常感恩，像这样的一个祈福会在高雄的时候，其实大爱台员工就要一起来。可是这时候呢，你常常看到
Yeah, there are a lot of work behind the scene.
在台前不见得会看到他，可是台
For each TV program that we produce.
所以其实我们真的非常感动，包括直播团队，我们要能够顺利出去，是不是也给我们线上读书会的导播、直播、即时播以及电子书？
Yeah, sometimes it's very challenging, and when things goes unpredictably.
时间上变化的比较赶啊，那难度上我想总是有办法克服的。
难度是可以克服的，但是时间上是赶的，所以说一直在克服万难事，避免哈。那
Brother Xiao also in charge of the program of the stories of the great monks. Yeah, so how do you have the image of a great monk? There are a lot of work.
上完一层以后，把它头皮贴粘紧。如果它是松松的，那个头就变成是像那个 EP 呀。
大爱台的歌仔戏。
So,
所以呢，您可以知道为什么刚才婉珍的头发。
Yeah, for example, Buddha Days this year, Brother Xiao also in charge of that.
你看看今年的浴佛，并不是在我们以往的。
You see, it's raining, and there are a lot of setup and rehearsal going on. And so he will also share with us some details. So Brother Xiao will share us some stories. And what we see here is in southern part of Taiwan. So they're setting up some platform.
用那边的藕啊，然后做藕柜来跟主场的家人分享。我觉得我们真的是非常的幸福哈。所以你看，当我们要
So it's a teamwork to make this happen.
更早去，然后去了解，把所有的家人各就各位，然后才能完成这样的一场。那其实为什么要去到这边去推这一场？这一场其实搭配了我们大概。
So we want to perform to reuse the meal utensils.
里面的使用的这些器具，让大家把这个不用一次性餐具这些观念放进来。
这场环保的美食小
就是这样的一个观念，要随时去推动哈。那大爱台在这一个部分呢，其实我自己也非常。
So these are a lot of recycling volunteers.
大家画面上看到的是台中东大环保园区。可是其实刚才看到冈山，我们来办活动的时候，他们其实一样是总监、副总监带着所有主管，然后来各个环保点。那因为那一天呢，我是随着他们呢一起来跟着他们。
As you know that a lot of the Yeah, so let's welcome Brother Xiao, the Deputy Superintendent of the Dai TV.
所以今天呢，我们要热烈掌声欢迎我们的肖副总监。好。
Actually, he is super busy to make a trip to southern part of the Taiwan for this talk. He's very knowledgeable with a lot of stories and history, and then he is also good in animation. Uh, he also got an award from animation that he or his team produced about our master's master.
更多后半部的，我其实完全不知道。所以在这个部分，大家期待了吧？用期待的掌声热烈欢迎！啊，唯一我要报一下料，就是刚才那一首歌是第一时间传给我，就我非常感恩大爱电视台，很多人在第一时间呢
inform me of the news that was sharing with our audience.
可是他完全只有作词作曲出来，就没再跳。所以刚才他在那边，我就发现。
You know the film was actually produced by my brother Xiao. So Sister Meiyun was make fun of him that he could not perform the dance. Okay, let's welcome him. Thank you, Sister Meiyun, and then all the sister brother on the internet. So I'm going to share with you the topic is my duty.
就是要我天天早起的意思，我特别去查了这个字。那其实这题目蛮难报告，就像刚刚那个李老师讲的，就是其实半年前跟我要档案的时候，我根本不知道我要讲什么。
I'm also sorry for not turning in my PPT earlier.
其实这个 PPT 也很对整个团队很抱歉哦，我是应该是礼拜6才交出来的。好，那也刚好趁这样子，就把今年有做的一些事情，大概就是回忆了一下。
Let me start with the Buddha Day ceremony this year. And we use a special way to present the Buddha Day, which actually has two venues, one in Jinsebo, the other in Taipei, Lingji Temple, where Master Chen Yan received her precept that become a nun.
然后那个时候慈月师姐在跟上人报告的时候，我还不知道，她报告以后突然冒出一个护国禅师，我在旁边坐听，什么时候多了一个新地点？那个时候我记得是礼拜4还是礼拜5。然后呢，接着呢，本来下午还有会在花莲，那个有一些座谈，我说不行。
So the timing was also a little bit rushed, and so we need to make our effort to get connected with Taipei Lingji Temple, and then design all the flow.
然后就整个开场地，然后我们就赶快去设计整个的动线等等的做讨论。所以今年其实是虽然看起来好像规模变小，
So, but it's worth mentioning that this year the highest view rate is actually in the Buddha Day broadcast, that so many people around the world took the time to participate in this online Buddha Day ceremony.
佛教的礼仪，那其实我们一开始在规划的时候，并不知道这个礼仪那么的重大，因为毕竟佛门的师父们的仪轨其实不是那么清楚。就那天在报告的过程中，上人就讲。
So this is very special in the sense that usually.
所以这是非常非常重要，是要我们全程记录。
This is make the offering to Buddha by 5 monks, respected monks. And because this temple is a historical site, so it's not allowed to use a flashlight. So it become a challenge to Dai TV how we can make this a auspicious event to all of viewers around the world.
人文之夜的同仁，宗教处其实大家都其实是很大的压力。其实我相信常住师傅们应该也蛮大的压力。
So you can see that actually we also need to watch out for the distancing for the participants. So we use a lot of marks on the ground. But we still need to preserve the serenity and peace of the Jinsi abode. So Master also mentioned that how we can bring out the best of the Jinsi abode. Yeah, of course, you may say that the participants of the Buddha ceremony, Buddha Day ceremony, was not as many as before. But because we need to observe the distancing principle to, and you can see that actually we hide some of the camera in the corners. Yeah. So that we can still capture some good image without disturbing the whole ceremony. Yeah, so we need to have a stand that showing the event. But because there is a tree in front of the Jinsi bowl, and it took us some time to figure out how to mingle the stand with the whole Jinsi bowl's trees. Yeah, you can see that we actually cover some metal with green color cloth so that it can mingle into the Jinsi bowl's environment. And the hardest part is that and how do you present the Jinsi bowl in a way which looks so magnificent? Yeah, there is a few tricks that we need to use to make this look more upright for all the viewers. So there's a trick that how you can have the stand up while look neat and upright. And basically, you need to stand in front of the boat and then look at the stand, and then they used to see only one post on either side. You cannot see the post behind them. That means that you have put this upright. And that looks also neater and then more simple. And similarly, in Taipei Lingji Temple.
这边的师傅也说要请你们上人常常回来啊，这件事也算是他的家。那我们都有如实的去转达这个。那除了疫情的关系哈，那刚刚是做一点小小的插曲。那另外一个是我这边有特别感恩一下那个泸州的师兄姐，因为疫情的关系，所以其实大爱台有分流。我们在4月的时候做分流，为什么？我们也是怕嘛，因为那时候
So this is a story.
有一个人万一确诊。
That how the Thai TV crew is prepare for the pandemic. That because if one of them got actually confirmed or even just have fever, and then the whole team need to be isolated at home. So we need to set up different stations in different places, and so that we don't have to all gathering in the same building or same floor. But it turns out that it has a benefit is that the Thai crew would prefer going to a small remote office, and because the sister and brother there are more being more nicer and cook better food. This is the one. They actually produced the song of washing hands, and they actually volunteer to perform.
那就不看了。对，那这影片也是我那个连假，那我记得那个连假3天吧。
And another thing that I produced was about this promoting vegetarianism.
那另外一个就是这个异口吞声里的影片嘛。那本来是做了第一个版，就像刚刚讲的比较幼许。后来因为上人还是觉得说幼许的讲很多，其实现在是希望让大家更清楚。
And there is a story behind this one. After I produced the Chinese version, someone said, "Can you make the English version?" So we produced the English version. And someone said, "Do you have the Spanish version?" This is the video color that I have produced so many different language versions. Totally, there are 20 languages. Of course, many thanks to the Tzu University, the language department helping us a lot. So we got to interact with our education department. So now that this is a story about a story of great monk, and this story specific is for there was an emperor bodhisattva. And this emperor in Chinese history, a story about him. He actually promoted the vegetarianism, and he himself also became a vegetarian. And he actually make a vow that he would become a vegetarian, and if not, then he would rather fall into the hell. So it took us quite some time to produce this story for this king, this emperor. So there are about 80 sessions, screens. And this is the whole story about this Liang Huang, the emperor Liang.
他们其实是利用梁武帝来讲佛教的不是，为什么？他们觉得一个信仰佛教那么虔诚的人，怎么会最后落得不是安享天年，他最后是饿死。那但是实际你去读的时候，其实不是这一回事其实是有另外。那所以我就借由这样子用梁武帝来去反讽他自己，因为他成就了这本书，让很多人受到这个，但是他自己想让更多人接触佛教，所以呢，他选择用武力去征战，反而违背了佛教的基本的教义，造成更大的杀业。所以最后其实
actually the emperor helped created a repentance ceremony, which is very, very touching.
经文上面怎么去讲这件事情，让更多人去理解。我想应该明年大家可以在电视台上看得到。那所以今年其实做的事情真的蛮杂的。
And also in Thai TV, we are also doing the big data and then the major event database.
那上来希望我们再把实际历史弄得很清楚，那可以让将来出去的时候，大家的资料才会正确，而不会有点误。
So in this case, that we finally integrate the two databases, one from charity, the other from the Thai TV's database together.
专案继续在走，所以预计我们希望在明年的时候呢，明年的时候呢，我们就可以把我们的文史处跟人文之夜的史料整合在一起，然后这样就会比较完整的资料，然后再。
So also in this case, we were able to integrate the data and validate the numbers that in Thai TV's database and then also in the charity team's database.
但是，因为这样子，你看，这是我们根本会做的东西。我们在做的时候其实很谨慎，所以我们在评估每个系统的时候，我们做了很多的问卷，做了很多的考核去做这样比较，包括每一个事件怎么走的流程。所以其实为什么
this is about artificial intelligence.
对，不过就是我们平常一直在做的事情。那讲一个比较先进的，现在大家讲人工智慧嘛。
So previously, for each photo, we have a few people. So for more people, then it's hard to recognize those people. For example, for disaster relief, and there are say 50 or 60 people joining, but
可能都找不到他的照片，因为我可能一找就是找到，比如说师姐师兄罗美珠师姐，这些都会做记录的。可是有一些幕后的，他可能在。
But now with the artificial intelligence, we will be able to recognize the people in the pictures, and then so that this picture can be associated with the other events. So we can we can have a more complete picture of our volunteers, even though they may not play the key role in that disaster relief. So even you are wearing hat, he can tell you. Even you are wearing sunglasses, they can also tell who you are. So basically, it's through the artificial intelligence.
它也测得出来，而且下面那个大家看到那个蓝色跟白色的，蓝色是什么意思？这是影片，它告诉你这个人呢。
So even more amazingly, that it can tell you in the film where the person appeared. So it's easier for you to identify, go directly to the spot where the person was filmed. So in the future, it will be a lot easier to identify sisters and brothers in various events. So there was some animation that we created for a Chinese medicine program.
那改版的时候，其实一开始的第一版这个动画其实是仿照之前的，然后做完以后之后，this
is second version, the fourth version.
开始做新的这个设计，那这些都是原件，不是成品。然后你可以看到，哎，同样一个这个有第一个版本，有第二个版本，有第三个版本，有第四个版本。所以我们其实常常在做的事情就是我们在跟制作单位不断的去讨论。那我现在因为其实也比较少第一实物下去做，所以通常我们就是给看了，希望你想怎么做，那我们就给一些建议给同仁，让去修改。所以到最后最后的版本就会变成是这样，因为制作单位希望有这种感觉，又觉得这样太硬，所以后来我们就用这个概念去把它分成亮暗面，拿暗面里面我们再去加一些简单的意义。不过
This is one of our 金丝猴 in Miaoli in Taiwan. So we may also have a station, dye station here in this campus.
那为什么这样讲？其实今年因为疫情关系，我们大爱剧场也有影响。为什么？我们要去借场地拍，借不到；自己的医院也借不到，医院系不能拍。为什么？因为医院要配合政府的政策，也要防疫，所以进去就要戴口罩等等，所以通通不能拍。所以我们有几场戏也因为这样，拍摄时程也拖累了。所以呢，就想到兴起之后，那我们就开始想，我们在研究到底要做什么。那我们执行长王副总 也很开明，就说：“那我们是不是趁这次做的时候，也把台湾的一些历史的建筑说在那地方？”
It seems like they try to put in a lot of ingredient, especially from old days, into the campus.
有的做实际式，有的做半面式。什么叫半面式？这个也是我去参考了环球影城等等。
This is in their design phase, so they use some tool to design the new campus in Miaoli.
所以我们就开始做这样的设计跟思考。那我们也大概你看，这个是苗栗园区上面那2块，我们就开始做一些设计。然后初期的话，目前接到
So this is a big campus and very interesting with a lot of historical scenes. When I first joined 世界，
我就知道我不知道该怎么分享。不过我想讲我最近的心得好了，因为我这2年来讲以前刚进慈济的时候，我最喜欢的近似语是那个不要怕人家拉你的腿，因为是你的锻炼腿。 腿肌， 那最近其实这2年我最喜欢上人开示的就是上人一直在讲心包太虚跟量周上界。
And there are a few topics that I would like to share, but it's not so easy. When I first joined, I liked the Jinsa aphorism that don't be afraid of pull back by others, because the pull will strengthen your leg. Recently, that the aphorism that I like most is to open your heart to accommodate the whole universe. Don't limit yourself. So, Shannon also told us that we have unlimited potential.
然后我觉得这样就不会画地自限，就像上人说，人有无限可能嘛，很多东西其实也是学。我们在做那些事情的时候，其实我也是很认真的在学。对，像里面还有。
Currently, we are also designing the second building of the Dai TV in Guangdu. So we are designing that, and hopefully it will be ready to present to all of you next year.
怎么样不落伍？可以迎接未来的10年、20年。所以呢，第二个是不请自私，我最近也比较有感受，因为当你这样想的时候呢，很多本来不是你的业务范围，有就接着就。
Actually, it's beyond my duty, but still, I just take it willingly to help with the design of the new building. And also that I learned that one thing that to do that sincerely and and working hard and try to be nice to everyone that in your team.
比如说那个山林园区企业的那一天晚上，我记得那时候舞台搭在路的正中间，原来是跟我说前一天的中午12点可以给我们搭。
So it was about an event that they need to set up the platform for a show, but they will not allow to set up the platform until midnight.
不过就在这混乱中还是完成了，所以前一天还有很多的墙还没有完成，可是到当天的时候，整个就完成。所以其实很多的奇迹，我认为就是所有师兄姐大家的认真。那我们自己也是要用这样的心态去做这样的事情。那我觉得那个就很容易是美好啊，反而不用去分说你一定要是做什么。所以呢，最后这一章就是这个上面是水灿，特别挑这一章，这个是正缘。正缘的意思就是代表高雄，只有高雄才有正缘。
So next year there will be another big event like the one shown here that it was done a few years back, a sutra adaptation performance. That time we affect about 300,000 people. But this time we will hope to expand the influence, the impact to more. So we wish that more people can join together to make this complete.
不是只有现在的慈济人跟我们的会员去做植树这件事，要更多人一起来做这件事情然后让大家知道所谓的佛教、菩萨道跟人间佛教。
I'm sorry that I've talked so many different things. Hopefully, it's okay.
我今天讲什么，就是感恩大家给我有这个机会跟大家分享。谢谢。
我听到的是我的本分
My duty
克服万难，
is to
使命必达。当我讲我的本分
to face any challenge.
我的本分是，然后请大家一起说克服万难，使命必达，好不好？我的本分是克服万难。
Now you can tell how talented Brother Xiao is. So versatile, doing so many different things. Yeah, actually, while doing, then you can learn.
这个其实就是还是要投入时间去学。
对，
真的每一样其实像刚刚讲二期大楼这个，当初决定要做网络的，不是现在这种大家看到的。
So when I see a new technology, I will go Google that and then and find out if the technology is can be used as well. And actually, we just need to do our duty, and then a lot of people will be supporting us.
是，就是这样子，活到老，学到老，所以我们就可以知道。
Yeah, I like to inviting the Dai TV crew to share because they will share with us the details behind the scene.
而这些故事就要由他们亲自来讲。你看，这是有关于大爱台他们的回应，就大爱 TV is indeed a good
some feedback from the internet.
The Dharma series are always inspiring and touching. The news coverage are always filled with touch.
It's one of our best of 慈济. They always taking the challenges so gladly and happily.
永远都有本分事啊，然后永远我们就说哇，原来而且期待，即便苗栗园区那边是2年后，我们还是觉得您是第一次听吧，我也是哎，所以非常的感恩，再次掌声感恩。好，那接下来我们看到哇，这个是我们情根福田主题乐。由我们当区的合剧，今天来的这个合剧不得了，待会听了就知道。掌声欢迎我们当区的来师傅合气，请。
Greeting everybody.
全球的慈济家人，大家好。今天是由我来介绍我们灵雅寺
Ever since the pandemic started, Master Zhen Yan's been telling us we need to become a vegetarian. So I've been sharing with my friends at this region how to promote vegetarianism at hospital, fire station, police, and we decided to prepare vegetarian bento and bring it to people who works at hospital and police station.
当这个信息告示去接洽医院跟那个警察局的时候，他们都很开心。
After we began this idea,
组内的师兄师姐他们讨论，
everybody decided to do it.
愿意来承担。接下来我们就规划如何来。
And next, we'll show you how to prepare this vegetarian food.
那我们接下来就请我们的庄博山李师兄来分享，如何来做这个便当。
Zhen Master always tells us to be vegetarian. In order to save the world, we have to become a vegetarian. When I heard this news, I was very happy. It is a positive energy. Every time we have to prepare 10,000 vegetarian lunchbox once a week for 1 month. And this is our main chef. In order for people to feel appetite, It needs to look good at first. It has to be very colorful and also delicious at the same time. And this is our assembly line. It's also very important, people who prepare the vegetable, wash vegetable, and then people who put it in the container. In such a short time, like within 4 hours, we have to make 1,000 lunchbox. In the month of May,
大家好，我们
once a week,
和系这次推素食便当。那5
we've
月份
been
每
give
周
out
4次，那我们总共
4,123
送出了
vegetarian lunchbox.
4,123个便当。那我们的包
They were
含是我
sent
们
to
社区的一
hospital,
个大
police
型医院
station,
还有
banks,
5个警察
total
单
of
位，
8
还有
places.
银行跟私人企业。那这些相关的数量都是
We
要
have to
在前
collect
一天我们
boxes
才会知道。
that's
那
going to
所以我们事
contain
先
those
的准备动
lunchbox.
作就是要请我们的雅丽师姐去帮我们收集纸
We
箱。
have
那我也要
several
做好这些统计的
transportation
数量，
line.
然后告知我们
Once
女
it's
师
ready,
兄。
we'll bring
那
it to
同时我
different
要去准
places.
备这些相关的资料啊，那以便我们方便去作业，因为大家
For
都知
example, in
道医院里
hospital,
面的系别分很
there
多，
are
有
different departments,
肝胆胃肠科啦、心脏科等等。那他们每一个
and
单位
people
的便当数
vary
量
in
都
different
是不同
offices,
的，
different
所以前
departments.
一
So
个
we
晚
do
上我们
we
必
have
须要有
other
前置的作业。那我
sister
们队
that's
长立中师兄会跟我们几位师姐，我
gathering
们会
those
去分工，
information.
然后去做这些资料的那个整理哈。那其实，在早上短短的4个多小时里面，我们要从整
This
理
is a
蔬
very
菜、
high
洗
assembly
菜、切
line,
菜，到烹调出
including
菜
wash
肴，装
vegetable,
进
cutting,
便当盒里面，
cooking,
那再装箱，可
putting
以
it
说
in
是
the
一
lunch
条高效率的
container,
生产线。那制造
and
出
put in the
1000多
box
个
and
便
bring
当，
it
如果
to
没有我们团队的兄师姐
different
大家的
offices.
默契与配合，是没有办法去达成的。那因为我们便当的送出去的单位
We
都是
have
有
to
时
be
效性的，
very quick
就是不能
and
去影响
on
到那
time.
个医护人员的用餐。那我们，所以我们的动作其实是很快速又有挑战性。我们真的是
And
跟
of
时
course,
间
we're
在赛
tired,
跑啊。
but
那其实出来
inside
包
our
含的
heart,
兄
we
师
are
姐，其实身体
happy
是会疲累的，但是我们内心其实
because
是非常的
this
感恩跟欢喜
vegetarian
的。那我们也祈愿
lunchbox
这一份素食便当可以去启发出人人的慈悲
can
心，
change
然后少
people's
杀
health
生救地
and
球。
can
最重
change
要是让
their
大家都知道
point of view
说，
about
我
being a
们
vegetarian.
吃素最重要是祈求我们自己的健康，然后改变我们大家的素
You
食
must
饮
think
食
of
的
a
观念。
very
感恩。
efficient team, right?
听到我们团队
I'm
的
so
分享，你们
thankful
会觉
to
得
everybody in
非
this
常优
team.
秀，对吧？我也很感恩他们哦。
They are
有什
full
么
of
任务
happiness
哦，他
after
们
they
都是
complete
使
the
命
task.
必达哈，就是说最主要哈，他们做到最后还是满心的欢喜。接下来我要介绍我
Now
们哈，
we have
我们的这也是我的
brothers
师兄
that
师
is
兄，
gonna
他们要演一
prepare
首那个美哈，
perform
感恩大家，请大家
a
哈给他
song
们
for
鼓励的
you
掌声好吗？感恩。
with the picture from our activities.
这次的这么送。
Thank you so much. This is a beautiful song of Chiji, sharing how Chiji people is doing in their regular times.
再次热烈掌声的同时，我们看一下这个影片，在我们的大爱。
This is the film that our brothers here they did for their advertisement. It's a construction company. That's the brother here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have this opportunity to be here to sharing with you. So we should not eat animal to affect our world. When we eat vegetarian, the whole world will be grateful for us. The last session is our relay of goodness. Let's give them applause here. The first one is Sister Ling Yulu. When I was in advanced training, the big story is that the number of members is not enough. So I remember that during the training, the leader told me that I need to increase the member. So I was kept thinking when I was riding home. Before I arrived, before I parked, one of the uncle, the housekeeper, told me, say, "Oh, you are in uniform. Are you sister in Chiji?" So I said, "Yes, I am, but I'm still in training." And he said, "Oh, do you collect donation?" I was so happy that he asked that. And he told me that he actually did donate long time ago in the 80s. But he moved away and he lost contact with his volunteers. So since that time, he became my member. He has a special character. He is actually very good in the topic of religions. So every time I collect donation from him, he would talk from Taoism or even everything to Buddhism and even scriptures. Once when I collect the money, he talked to me for almost 1 hour. So when every time I collect the donation, my husband would say, "Do I need to call to you so that I can rescue from that?" But I think because I have the chance to collect the donations, so it doesn't matter how long I stand there. Now I've been collecting donation for almost 1 year. But through this experience, I know when I have uniform on, then if I only need to have a smile with people, then I can collect more money. So I wish I can inspire more goodness and raise everyone to have more members. Thank you so much. Second one is Sister Meaning. This year, I have a different Mid-Autumn Festival. Thanks to the blessing of my brother-in-law and mother-in-law, they allow me to participate in the TIMA annual conference. And this time, the Taichung volunteers is actually in charge of this conference. So they spend all their effort for the courses and for the whole conference to be smooth. So I need to say thank you to all our doctors and nurses because they have been spend their time, devote their time and life to take care of the patient all over the remote areas, especially during the period of the epidemic prevention. They stay at the forefront and guard the lives and health of the people. They are the truly amazing doctors. Yeah, one of the nurses said, there is no time to be afraid. I'm so grateful for all these nurses and medical staff. They warm our respect and affirmation. When I was young, I often heard adults say that most practical industry is to sell eyes and to be a doctor. So therefore, in my head, I always thinking that the doctor can study very well and make a lot of money. But then after this time, I grew older and I know that doctors are actually more than that. They devote themselves for people in different countries, not just on our own land. They can spend their life to love with the great wisdom, benevolence, and courage to embrace all sentient beings. So I would like to offer my tribute and gratitude to you, protecting our lives, our health, and our love. Thank you so much for all the medical stuff. Thank you. They only have 3 minutes, but they speak very well. So in October 17, we will go back to the abode to see the master. So we'll see it online. This is the beautiful rainbow happened in last week in the abode. This is our spiritual home that we would like go back. Remember, it's on October 17. We will have a talk with the master and connect it on the online. And Brother Xiao mentioned that we have this small device that a very portable thing that for music and for listen to the Dharma. And until October 31st, we still have special price for all these Jinsu products. Before you go home in our Jinsu Cafe, you can take a look. We can buy as a gift and use yourself. We have so many good stuff here. If you use it, then you know the benefit. So we have a good concept that whatever you meet will be a good affinity. Whatever happens, it's a good thing. So we do more as a Tzu Chi volunteers. Next week, October 21st, we will have a connection with a Germany volunteer, Sister Lin. And we have 3 lecturers next week. Sister Wu, and then there will be a performance of the actualizing our vows. And October 28th, there will be from people from Gangshan, Kaohsiung, to see how they print their certain print. In November, there's a special food arrangement. And this is one of the Chinese medicine doctor will come to give you a talk. And another international airplane pilot will come to share with us too. November 11 will be two entrepreneurs, Sister Guo and Brother Huang. And then the superintendent of Taipei Hospital, Superintendent Zhao, will come again. One of the great viewer with foreign names that I cannot spell very well. So I'm sorry, but I'd like you to share in English with us. So every Wednesday, welcome again. This is time. Let's have 3 bows to the Buddha. 1 bow, 2nd bow, and 3rd bow. Thank you. Let's say goodbye.